welcome to Nerd TV for a Mach-1 Performance Cup Series presented by the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. Coming at you live from the Simulated Gateway Raceway or Worldwide Technologies Raceway or whatever you want to call it. Lights out, brake rotor, failure city, whatever you want to call it. We're here for 160 laps here in the virtual world tonight. We'll not see brake rotors fly into the grandstands tonight, that's for sure. And we're going to do it with about 25 cars roughly in tonight's field, at least currently on track. And Jason, welcome back, man. How are you tonight?
Well, I'm definitely doing a lot better than per se I was about a week ago. Still gaining my voice back. Charlotte was good, minus the fact that I was sick with the summer cold that's for some reason everybody's been getting recently. I don't know why. I got laryngitis because of it. I'm still having my voice back. And hey, look, there's Walter White right there. You can see him right in the corner. He's hanging out with us. But I'm back. I'm ready to go, man. Second race for Season B. I heard Jeff Chandler gave these guys an absolute whooping last week from the stats that I was seeing. It looks like the RPM guys have been really fast here so far with the start of this race, or the start of the season so far. So they're looking to try to make some headway for the rest of this season, and it should be a really good one. I'm just glad to be back.
Yeah, Jeff Chandler turned 700 laps before the race last week, so almost cranked 4 digits of laps to get that W. And it paid off. I don't know what he looks like tonight, but if he did anything like that, expect that man, that 31, to be up there in the front. And Dustin, yeah, he mentioned Mr. Walter White's joining us tonight. How you doing over there?
I'm doing pretty good, but I'm not the only one that's joining us tonight. Now, am I?
No, hey.
Oh, you okay? You threw the Easter egg in the broadcast. You said you just want to see behind the scenes.
Yeah, this has been planned since yesterday, so I figured I'd never get in here, so I'd hop in and say hey to everybody and check out what, goes on here.
So this is what Dustin, whenever he says the head nerd in charge is on the Twitch, usually on the chats there. This is her, by the way. So now you guys finally get to put a voice to the name there.
If anybody's camera broke, I'm sorry.
Well, it wouldn't be their camera, it'd be their screen.
Oh, yeah, you same thing.
Well, maybe the headset.
Wow, he said that. That's it. You're going to bed.
Not live, so I think it's the earphones.
Yeah, so, but I mean, it's, yeah, so that is Sissy Bean, that is the head nerd in charge. She is the driving force behind everything, but, as you were saying, Jeremy, I mean, it's good to see Jason back. He was a little under the weather there, so glad that he's back. Not 100% full force, but good enough to be back. Do want to give thanks to some of our supporters out there as well. I'm not going to mention any names just in case they don't want names made, but they have worked pretty hard and have been very gracious to allow us to try to work with the nerds in order to try to get our product even better and are continuing to work behind the scenes. So for those of you who know who you are, very much appreciated. And for everybody else, just be grateful and appreciative of that. So thank you again.
Yeah, definitely, man. It this should be much better. I think you got this now on 1080, and I don't see any hiccups at all, sir.
No, it's looking like it's going to be pretty good. And I tell you what, these drivers here, they should be able to put on a damn good show. They always do. If it's anything like the other, I was surprised in the truck series that, and Matt in the Facebook chat says, J Stan exclamation point, by the way, Jeremy. So that one's for you.
What's up, Keach? Welcome into the chats, man. Me and him are going to try to tear up some Sonoma this week in these next-gen cars, so we're going to get a little cursor of how things play tonight, and then head off to the road course, which we're going to catch these guys next Monday, too, by the way. So if you're interested in road course racing, be there next week.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, Cody McKinney says nerds. So absolutely. Yes, yep. We love it. Shout it out. I mean, it's awesome. We do have some people that want to do some onboard cameras with us tonight. So we will have onboard shots from Ryan Chapman returning from last Wednesday, as well as Josh Johnson returning. He had been an onboard camera shot before, coming back again in that 57. So a couple different perspectives that we can use throughout the night.
I'm excited. We had 2 drivers. We had 1 driver last week, 2 drivers this week. Let's get that number up. It's kind of cool. Try to talk to one of them during the warm-up lap before we go green flag tonight, and then one if we get a caution or so. I don't like trying to pull these guys during their only caution of the race, which is stage break. If there's a natural caution on the track, might talk to someone. You never know. But it is qualifying, guys, so it's our time to get our faces, all four of us. It's the first time I've had to say that ever, off the screen. And we're going to go qualifying here. We didn't talk about practice times or anything, but Richie Coy, no shocker, going to be starting P1 in that 19 Ford Mustang presented by Advanced Auto Parts. We're going to go on board with him and see what he does around this track.
Yeah, he should really do a good job. I mean, he's looking to try to take all that momentum that he took from Season A, not only in the Martin Sports Truck Series, but also here in the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series, Jeremy. He's looking to try to bring full force, try to sweep both Seasons A and B, and here he goes, coming down to the start-finish line. He's going to try to go to the outside right here. Interesting line here at Worldwide Technology Raceway there. You see him right there try to get down to the bottom, hit that line, hit the apex perfectly, takes the green flag in his lap right here. You're going to see him hard braking zone, so it saw a lot of brake rotors in the Cup Series race. Obviously, those will not be a factor here, but the brakes do heat up consistently, especially here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and downshifting is going to be a factor right there heading into turn 1. That is such a sharp corner right there. You got 11 degrees of banking, and then right here through 3 and 4, 9 degrees. You're going to be a lot faster right here through this corner, but it's all about throttle control off the corner. You want to make sure that you have a good entry and good exit off the corner, and Richie Coy is probably going to post a solid lap time right here at the line.
Yeah, and crosses the line at 34.239, just 1/10 off his fastest practice time. Would have put him second on the practice boards, and that's going to be his lap there. We got about 10 total times down right now. Richie still holding the fastest time in this session here. Only got Mark Brannigan Jr. by 1/10. Mark at a 0.386. Matt Keach, yep. I know Sonoma is probably going to be a lot of fun these next gens. Can't wait to race that tomorrow. And then Cody coming out here with, don't talk about his Jersey mics, by the way. Karma hit me. Yes, it did. It did really bad. So I won't talk negative about him. I've only had him one time. I can't speak bad about it. So I'm going to say it was a great sub. And I got no follow-up with that, so I'm going to assume that they agree or disagree and just are afraid to say it. But either way, we're 12 cars taking time so far. Sherwood Williford jumps up with a 0.2. He's 1/10 faster than his practice session here. And across the line for lap 2, improves it by 100, so moves up to a 0.282. Is going to secure at least second place momentarily. 14 guys, Jason, so far taking time.
And here we go. Right now, we're riding on board with Ryan Chapman, one of the guys we're going to have that onboard cam with. You see him right there with the sequential gearbox. You see him with the gloves, the steering wheel, everything. He is locked and loaded, baby, pretty much here at Worldwide Technology Raceway. You see him trying to wrap that bottom the best he can through 3 and 4, going around. I believe he's in 4th gear right now. You see him. Yes, he is. 5th gear right off. Or no, he's actually in 3rd gear, so he's in 4th now, coming to the line that time by. I believe that is going to be his lap. But you're going to see guys go all the way down to 3rd gear, probably going through 1 and 2. And the same thing goes with 3 and 4 here, probably during the race. So interesting lap right now up on the board. Ryan Chapman currently 6th, sits in the 6th spot with a 34.41 right now. He's looking to try to get something done here tonight at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Now we're taking a look at Stephen Hollingsworth in the 25, Jeremy.
Yeah, we're going to see what he can do around this track. Has not posted time yet as he goes through turns 1 and 2 here. This guy's been he's been surprising me since he's joined FTSR. He's found himself in the top 5 quite a few times. Did really well at Charlotte, at least at some points in the race. He just seems to find speed continuously. And he likes the high side, but there's not really much of a high side here. So, but it's kind of a shorter track on that nature too. So he's got to find out how to get around these guys when there's only one lane around the track. Across the line this time here, he's going to move himself up to P9 at a 34.45.
Yeah, that's a great lap. And I want to just point this out. This was one thing I wanted to point out during pre-race here before we got going. One of the teams that I really want to look at is RPM. They finished first, second, and 23rd last week at Charlotte. Obviously, Jeff Chandler picking up that win, dominated practically at the start of the season B there at Charlotte by winning that race. And I know Troy Torgerson, I believe he finished 23rd. And then you had TJ Bartel coming home in second. So these RPM guys, man, they really might have something for, let's just say, Richie Coy, Brody Hanna, and those guys over on their team this season. They've been putting in a lot of hours here over the little tiny, span since we last really started, ending the season A part and now into season B. I think they're going to be a big threat for those guys with Richie Coy and Brody Hanna this season.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. They're definitely going to be putting the pressure on, and I think they're going to have a strong chance of doing something with this Championship B title. But it is race time. We're going to turn into the front stretch here where the cars are getting set up for tonight's grid. We're going to go down the 29 car order for you right now. Richie Coy is going to take the pole at P1 at a 34-239. Second place, Sherwood Williford in the 33. Second row, car number 3 is going to be Austin Gassion. Third place, Mark Brannigan is going to start to the outside of him. And fourth, Chad Lang will start in 5th. Ryan Chapman, one of our onboard drivers, will start in 6th. TJ Bartel starting at 7th, and alongside him, Tony Solari in 8th. Stephen Hollingsworth, 9th place, and Ryan Hedrick, our other onboard. No, not onboard tonight. He's going to be 10th place. Michael Blackner, 11th. Troy Torgerson is going to be starting at 12th. Kyle Milliken going to start the next row back in 13th. Connor LaFrance, 14th. Lane Allen, 15th. Robert Malikian, 16th. Colton Gum will start in 17th. Joshua Johnson, 18th. Jeff Chandler, 19th place. And tonight's 20th place car is going to be James Wallace. 21st, Wayne Grossi. 22nd, Brian Dublé. 23rd, James Torrey. 24th, Shad Curran. 25th, Brody Hanna. 26th, Alan Duranco. 27th, Chris Beck. 28th, Brandon Elder. And Alan Crowell naturally takes the last place by being not qualifying with the lowest I rating. So he'll round out tonight's 29 car lineup. And Josh Johnson, like I said, Dustin said, he's our other in-race guy here with this camera set up for you guys. Speaking of which, let's try to bring him in. Let me see if I can grab him real quick while we got a moment. We're still sitting on the grid. Josh Johnson, this is Jeremy in the Nerd TV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How'd you feel in practice, and what do you think your chances are for tonight's race?
Practice, I felt really good. Qualifying, I overcooked one and killed my time, so I'm starting a little further back than I want to. But I think we got a good car. Just gotta, ride it out, get through some traffic. So.
Okay, yeah, I definitely expect you to be up there. Good luck tonight, man, and appreciate you having your camera live for us.
Yeah, thanks for broadcast. Have a good night.
All right, you too, man. That was the 57. Joshua Johnson, first time we get to see him on camera here. There is notable mentions, 3 penalties tonight, at least 2 that were sent out on the server. Colton Gum and Chris Beck, that's going to be the 10 and the 44, both given EOLs. I saw that Lewis Meglin, 43, also had one on the website. I don't see him going to the back, though, because I don't think he showed up. So that's correct. Yeah, so only 2 guys going to the back tonight. I think they've already dropped there. Now we just got to wait for the pace car to drop down pit road, and we're going to get this 160 lap event underway. Stage break. It's coming at you on lap 45, and then we'll go 160 the rest of the way. Green flag is out. Underway for the 160 laps here for the Gateway 200. Great restart here, or start rather, by Richie. Head off into 1, Jason.
Yeah, and everybody's going to be really tight right here. Jeremy going down into 1 and 2, downshifting a little bit. You see Coy drifts up the racetrack just a little bit. Tries to clear Williford there, heading off turn number 2. Everybody starts the single file out towards the front of the field, but still double wide, 2 by 2 by 2, all the way through the middle part, all the way to the back of the pack as they enter in 3 and 4.
Yeah, no surprise to see everyone's single file, at least in the top 10. I expected more, but there's still some battling and some shifting around. Coming off of turn number 4, about 4 or 5 rows worth of 2x2 racing. Everybody else single filed out there. This is a track where you want to save them tires, and you're going to find some different lines too. We saw Richie go really high in turn 1, diamond it back down to the bottom of turn 2, straightens out your corner exit, but you got to watch that tire wear. Something to look out for tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a factor, Jeremy. You saw a lot of guys in yesterday's NASCAR Cup Series event here doing that, basically. Now, obviously, that was real life. This is the sim, but the sim, it can, pretty much, quote, simulate, just as it's meant to do, what a real race would be. So you're going to see a lot of guys try to lay down some rubber. Now, despite this Goodyear tire not really being able to lay down as much rubber as you say with the old car, like how the Gen 6 tires used to be here, I mean, you're still going to be seeing a lot of guys trying to put in some rubber up in the middle of the top groove of that racetrack entering one. And if you're Richie Coy and some of those other guys, like you talked about, diamonding that corner, as you said, Jeremy, you got to be really careful because you can really cook that right rear off the corner, create a lot of wheel spin, and also you can really slide that right front, which is going to really struggle with drive off late in the run. So these guys have to be careful with it. This is going to be a long race, and it's going to be a very demanding race, especially with all the shifting that these guys are going to be doing on an oval.
Yeah, 100% there on the top left-hand corner, presented by iRock 93.5. We got Ryan Chapman on the top and Joshua Johnson there on the left. You can see them completely focused. Joshua talking to his teammates some already. But these guys have their eyes locked to the screen here. You got to stay focused at this track. This track will bite you if you overdrive any entrance, especially 3 and 4. It's really flat there. It's easy to slide the car. Just use up any excess grip that you might have on your Goodyear's tires here. But this is a 45 lap stint before they take the caution flag naturally for the stage end. So figure out what you can on in this car. This is going to be a grueling race for some of these guys if you have an ill handling situation. And go from bad to worse in a hurry.
Yeah, and you're starting to see everybody really single file out right now. I mean, that's pretty much how Gateway is. And this is the thing about these kind of racetracks, these flat ovals that are really tricky. I mean, the best way I could put this is that this, to me, is like New Hampshire, Phoenix, maybe a little bit of Martinsville, throw in a random road course or so. And, I mean, this is basically what this racetrack is. And also Darlington. This is like a flat 1.25 mile oval for Darlington. 1 and 2 tight, 3 and 4 way wider. Obviously 1 and 2 has only a couple degrees more of banking than 3 and 4, but you have to drive both ends of the racetrack, Jeremy, very, very differently. Obviously getting down to third gear all the way from fifth both and heading into 1 and heading into 3, but you're driving both corners very, very differently. You're looking at Josh Johnson right there in that 57 machine. Now Brian Dublé, they're going to be going all the way down to third gear right here, and then just kind of trying to wrap around the corner, let the car kind of swing out a little bit, diamond the corner, or if you want to run that bottom, then you're going to be upshifting right there. And then once you get down the back straight, hitting about fifth gear right here. And then once you get to turn 3 right here, you're already starting to downshift right there, fourth gear, and then pretty much third gear if you're running it. But right here, you see Josh Johnson running fourth gear, probably going to try to save those tires, not make the RPMs go up as high. So smart move on Josh Johnson's part right here. He's doing a good job. He'll hit fifth gear right about here, almost maybe. Wow, I'm actually surprised. These guys are not really hitting fifth gear like I thought they were down the straightaway. Maybe just a poor exit by Josh Johnson, but a lot of shifting is going to be going on here tonight.
Yeah, depending on how you set up the cars here for the gearbox. Actually, I've seen a little car issue in the back here. Brody Hand, the 23, slow on the backstretch. I saw him come down pit road, and he is creeping down the backstretch. Very unlikely situation for the 23 here, hitting pit road now for the second time. I wonder if he has any mechanical issues with the sim rig or whatnot. This is very unlikely for the 23.
Yeah, it definitely is. I actually think there might be a little bit of damage here. Maybe if we can get the drone cam going like Dustin's always got. I want to say there might be a little bit of damage on that right front. It looked like it possibly. I could totally be wrong, though, but we're going to get a great drone shot right here from Dustin on that right front as you see Brody Hanna creeping slowly down pit road. It doesn't look like there's any damage. It just looks like it might be just a paint scheme, the way it's designed and whatnot. And that Sim Racing Points Ford Mustang. Yeah, no, there is no damage. So interesting to see what's going on with Brody Hanna. And I mean, if I'm correct, Jeremy, obviously I was not here for last week's race. I don't even believe Brody Hanna started last week. And if he did, he finished multiple laps down, way outside his comfort zone from where he usually finishes. This is not the start for Season B that he wanted here so far compared to his teammate Richie Coy, who's being stellar with his car as usual.
Yeah, he'd had to step away last week from the race. Probably something to do with the Memorial Day. So yeah, did not start, and then so he got last place points. So there's that. But yeah, not a start here. He's still on track, maybe trying to repair what he can, but Yeah, I've seen Ryan Chapman drop out of one race last season, and he went from being the leader to like 50 points back and was never really to fully recoup it. So if you miss one race here at FTSR, it's so competitive, you can't really get much ground. But to see it back-to-back weeks to start your 2023B season, that's a huge hill to climb. You're going to need a lot of things to go your way. But at the same time, you don't wish that amongst your competitors out there in the field. So I guess you just kind of wrap it up and head off to 2023C and try to build what you can from there. But it is, like Jason, it is a broken up season, right? So you have 2023 season A, then B, then C, and then you have a 10 race championship stint to round out the overall champion. So if you can win A and C and be a little, on the downside of B, you can still have a good chance.
Yeah, and that's the great thing I actually loved here once I was brought on by you guys over at Nerd TV when I started covering here for the Full Throttle Sim Racing series. I mean, the fact that these guys have basically 3 to 4 different seasons all wrapped into one overall, I absolutely love that. You see right there, the 87 machine got way up the racetrack, almost just got into the 47 machine right there of Ryan Hendrick. That was Michael Blackner in the 87 machine. Good job by him, but you see Hendrick right now, he's got a head of steam down the back straightaway, not going to be able to do anything with that. But back to my point, that's the great thing about FTSR, man. And if you're watching this, you're not a part of this, get signed up. I'm telling you, this has been some of the best racing that I've called as a broadcaster here on iRacing and in the eNASCAR sim racing world. I mean, the fact that these guys got this, you got the Martin Sports Truck Series, and then they do things here and there whenever they really can and want to. I mean, the fact that you can run season A and then take a break in season B and then come back for season C, and then if you want to do playoffs, go right ahead by all means. That's the great thing about the FTSR, and it's one of the many reasons that I really like these guys and what they put on over here at the FTSR.
Yeah, 100% for sure. And let me give a quick shout out to one of our partners. Team Watson Racing Setups is the leading name in quality, affordability, and professionalism. With a staff dedicated, distinguished, and dedicated setup builders, TWRS delivers top-notch race and championship winning setups that iRacing service has to offer with some of the best guys to get the job done for you. So if you're specifically looking for, A, B, and C, that'd be Cup, Truck, and Xfinity, or if you're looking for some F4 stuff, or I think they even got some ARCA and a couple other cars off the top of my head, I can't remember, but there's about 10 cars that they really take care of and have some top quality setup. So if you're looking to get yourself in victory lane, look no further than TeamWatsonRacing.com. And we're starting to see some action on the track, Jason. They got really single filed out. I think about lap 9 or 10. Every single car in the field was single file. And now you're looking at some awesome racing here as the tire wear starting to fall off the 14 of Lane Allen. Really just slipping and sliding. Got passed by the 16, the 37. Now the 22 Malikian, and now under fire by Jeff Chandler, last week's race winner.
Yeah, Jeff Chandler is trying the best he can to try to get up through this field. He's only +1 from where he started. Driver, though, that's really struggling right there is Lane Allen. That 14 machine nearly lost it off turn number 2. But you're hitting the nail right on the head, Jeremy. Tire wear definitely starting to play a factor. We've run 15 laps on these set of Goodyear Eagles here. Everything is starting to play a factor depending on which lane these guys are running, if they're running the top, middle, bottom, diamonding the corner, whatnot, etc. There's so many different lines. We got a car on the wall, back straightaway, hard up into the wall. That looks to be Brian Dublé. Got loose, smacked the wall off turn number 2. That number 37 machine is killed on the right front, looks like to be. He is dropping way back, continues to drop back off 3 and 4. Nice save by Dublé, but that's going to be significant damage to his number 37 Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, I think he's definitely ill handling there. It almost looked like, I know these cars are built based off of like in between of a GT series car and then a Cup car, but it had very reminiscent of like a GT slide there. He came off the corner, got loose, went inside, and he barely turned the wheel to the right, and his rear tires just kept turning to the right, and pointed the nose at the wall with very little control that he had on the 37 there. So I don't think there's any discredit to Dublé, but definitely hit the wall kind of hard. But he looks like he's not too bad. Of course, he's not as fast as what he was, but he's maintaining an okay pace here.
Yeah, he may be maintaining an okay pace for right now for the time being, but you could just see how much he's struggling. In fact, he almost just hit the wall right there, entering 1 and 2. that right front fender, Jeremy, is definitely killed for sure. I mean, that fender is probably pushing in on that right front tire, and it is definitely affecting the handling of this race car. Obviously, these guys having open setups, this is going to affect this car a lot more per se than you would say a fixed setup. So Brian Dublé is just hoping and praying for an early caution here sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, we're only on lap 19 or 20 now, so we got another 25, 26 laps before we're going to see stage break. I think he's going to need that caution a lot sooner, already 16 and a half seconds back. He might have a chance of falling a lap down at this current run here as he continues to slow up more and more as laps continue from that wall incident. The tough break there from the 37. I know Boomerang Motorsports was looking to have a pretty good night. You see the 25, Hollingsworth. He's coming down pit road early here.
I wonder, Jeremy, if he's going to try to maybe there is something wrong. It doesn't look like there's any damage on that number 25 Folgers Coffee Ford Mustang here, but interesting to see what's going on with him. In fact, it looks like he's flying down. Oh my God. Yeah, he was just flying down to this. It went from 90 all the way to 30. So maybe a sim reg setup issue possibly. Interesting to see, but he was going at 90 miles an hour. You saw it right there. And he actually just exited the vehicle from what it looks like on our screen, from what it looks like here on my SDK live timing and scoring. And Brody Hanna is also right now still out of the car right now. I believe he might be done for the night. But one thing I want to point out right now, look at that driver right there in that number 29 Red Bull car. Rookie for Season B here. Hopefully I'm not butchering this name. Austin Gassione, he is doing such a good job. Third place last week at Charlotte. Here he is right now running down a couple of the best drivers here in the FTSR Mach-1 Performance Cup Series here. And he's got TJ Bartel right on his heels right now, heading through 3 and 4. Almost gave him the bumper on the left rear quarter panel there, entering turn number 3. But this guy, man, kid, whoever he is, we're going to get to know him. Haven't heard his voice yet. Hopefully I will be able to interview him at the end of this race. He's been doing a great job. Did a great job last week at Charlotte. He's doing a fantastic job here 23 laps into this Gateway event.
Yeah, Austin's one of the new guys here this season at FTSR. He's with R&R Motorsports, 2 drivers, himself and Colby Mice, and the number 9, which is not here tonight. So he's a lone driver here with this team. And I was going to mention, too, Boomerang Motorsports, before we saw the 25 come down pit road, which I can confirm did back out of the session, especially after going over 100 mile an hour down pit road. I don't think anybody would be in favor of that. But the Stig on the chats was saying that Boomerang Motorsports is hoping to do well here since it's Ryan Hedrick and Joshua Johnson's local track. So 2 of the guys on Boomerang trying to kind of do it for the hometown virtual crowd.
Yeah, and right now, Ryan Hedrick and Josh Johnson, they're sitting 14th and 15th right now. Everybody, though, is getting squirrely. You see Josh, he's trying the best he can to make his way up through this field. He's currently up 2 spots from where he started. Ryan Hedrick has lost 4 spots, almost got into a little scuffle earlier on. You see right there, he's up at the top of the racetrack, dropping down to the bottom. We're on board Josh Johnson right now, though, in the 57 machine. You see him right now. He's locked in, looking at all his stuff right here. As we look at the hood cam, you see them right there from his home in his virtual cockpit, entering turns 1 and 2, all the way into 3rd gear right now. He's trying the best he can to gain as many positions as he can here, Jeremy, before we hit this stage break. He's been doing a great job, up +3 now from where he started, continuing to make headway towards the front of the field. He might be a driver to look for here late in the later stages of this race here if he get into the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of shifting right now. Joshua Johnson's one of them. The biggest mover I'm seeing on the charts is that winner from last week, the 31 of Jeff Chandler, up 8 positions. But Joshua Johnson's also doing a great job here in that 57 Boomerang machine as he's on the outside now of his teammate Ryan Hedrick in the 47 and makes that pass look easy, but the 47 really slow off corner exit. It's going to allow the 14 to lay down. The 67, another teammate for Ryan Hedrick. He's going to contend him on the top side here. Slow 1 and 2 for Hedrick. So I'm seeing a lot of oddities here with Brody Hanna having issues, Hollingsworth backing out for whatever reason. We're seeing the 47 just really slow all of a sudden with no damage. So I don't. This is a really strange race, Jason, up to this point.
Oh, I tell you what, though, Jeremy, this track, regardless, is strange. I told you before, it's like Phoenix, New Hampshire, a mini Darlington, mixed into so many things. Ryan Hedrick, though, is dropping like a rock right now. He was -4 when I last got to talk to him, or when I last had the mic on hand here, Jeremy. He's now -9. He's about to be -10, and these guys are all over the place right now. Ryan Hedrick is needing a caution desperately. I wonder if he possibly, Jeremy, just ran the tires really, really hard, burn them up big time. I mean, we are now 28 laps into a green flag run, so tires are definitely starting to eat away here on this virtual racetrack here in Madison, Illinois. But Ryan Hedrick, he's looking for a caution, but this has been the battle so far all race long. These guys are pack racing like it's a super speedway. You see Lane Allen, Josh Johnson, Robert Malicki, and you see the 67 of James Wallace, the 10 of Colton Gum. Oh, one car up and into the wall. That's the 16. Connor LaFrance up and into Joshua Johnson. They're 3 wide off turn number 4. Will they make it stick? They do. Wow, heads up driving by everybody there heading into 3.
Are you kidding me? They were like 2 and 3 wide. He gets checked up at the top, has an issue up there, comes back down, and they're still in 2 and 3 wide right now, right in front of them. The 67, the 22, and the 10, all trying to, they're all trying to get it right here. Still 2 by 2. Looks like the 10 momentarily is going to clear him. I also noticed a couple of laps ago, the 4 came down across the 31's nose and chopped him off and almost put him into the wall. Racing is getting really intense right now as we're 15 laps away from this stage end. I guess with these next gens, when the tires wear out, this becomes a pretty awesome race, at least for the FTSR guys.
I mean, this tire obviously is so much different than what the guys in the real Cup Series run. Obviously, you can only simulate so much here on iRacing. You see Robert Malicki almost get up and into the wall right there. James Wallace almost got turned around. Last time they were heading through 2, he almost had a Brian Dublé moment and pounded the outside wall and overcorrected, but he did a nice job at saving it. In fact, he is still making headway up towards the front. James Wallace up 5 positions. Another driver, too, who is continuing to march his way towards the front slowly but surely, and that's Brandon Elder in the 51 machine for, I can't believe I'm going to say this if this is correct, for Fast Turd Sim Racing. He is driving the wheels off of that thing right now. +9, sitting 19th. Not in the best spot, obviously. You don't want to be 19th as a driver, but 9 spots from where the start is on a track that's super hard to pass at. I'd take that as a W if I were Brandon Elder right now, early on in this race.
Yeah, 100% there. And like at the moment, it looks like it's kind of tamed down a little bit from just 5 laps previous, where there was really solid racing all around. The 57's got some handling issues here. The 16's kind of figured out what his car is doing. Right now, I'm kind of looking at the race in front of Jeff Chandler. This is the 29 and 39. This is for 4th and 5th place inside of the top 5 here. As the 39 to Torgerson goes around, and now his teammate, the 31, trying to get around the 29. So it looks like RPM, slowly but surely, got 2 cars almost now in the top 5.
Yeah, talked about it too, Jeremy, during pre-race. These RPM guys, they came to play with the Furier Motorsports guys. Yeah, Richie Coy right now is in a zip code of his own practically. And Sherwood Williford's doing a great job. But we're riding on board right now. Jeff Chandler nearly putting the bumper to the rookie, heading through 2. Off the corner, though. Not enough drive off. You see, though, Austin Gassion, he's able to put the power down a lot better. The rookie, though, right now, struggling. Went from 3rd. He's all the way back right now to 5th. This is the battle for the 5th spot right now. I expect Jeff Chandler to pass the rookie here at any moment here before this stage ends right now. He's up 13 spots from where he started. That's Jeff Chandler, the 31.
Curious to know how he's going to be able to compete, as Richie Coy is 8 seconds almost over 2nd place TJ Bartel. So RPM has got this thing figured out, as you see him. Oh, big mistake almost there by the 11 of Tony Solari. Huge amount of looseness coming off corner exit number 2. Almost went to the infield grass, got that thing saved, and now he's back going straight. But yeah, I forgot about Bartel there when I was talking about RPM. So they actually hold 2nd, 4th, and 6th. So almost all 3 cars inside the top 5. And this is becoming a no surprise situation the more and more I watch these guys here.
Yeah, these guys are doing such a great job here. And what a moment, though, for Tony Solari. I did see that, Jeremy, off turn number 2 just a lap ago. He nearly lost it, was almost all the way down the apron, practically almost in the grass. He was able to save it and come back up. He's doing a great job. This is a guy we look forward to seeing every single week here in the FTSR. Tony Solari, He's always a guy he's always just there. He's a contender. He doesn't really win a lot, but he's always right there. And I mean, he's just one of those drivers who has a lot of respect for everybody around him. He knows how to drive. He's one of the great drivers over at Fury Motorsports, like most of his teammates, and also like most of the guys here in the FTSR in the Mach-1 Performance Cup Series. So Tony Solari, don't sleep on him. I'm telling you, he somehow, some way, always finds a way to get up towards the front into the podium positions, even with a wrecked race car. Tony Solari, definitely a driver to look at here in the latter stages of this race.
Yeah, he's good at the road course stuff in particular too. And you mentioned it before. If you're kind of mixing a little bit of a road course of your choice, it kind of simulates that, especially through 3 and 4 with the flat corners. Really, just that's where Tony kind of succeeds here, and that's why no surprise he's inside the top 10, lurking to get around the number 87 Michael Blackner, his teammate, and then the 29 Agassione, who's coming up to him as he's starting to wear out more and more with those tires. Looking on now. Look like we're at the 19 of Richie Coy, starting to lap down, or starting to put some cars a lap down rather here. Goes around the 21 this corner here. Looking at Brian Dublé now, the guy who hit the wall about 20 laps ago, as Richie actually has a little moment there, gets a little bobble in the middle of 2, gets it collected there. But yeah, there's a good amount of these cars starting to go lap down, 4 on the boards, and probably a couple more before we get to stage break.
Yeah. And you know something too here, Jeremy? I mean, TJ Bartel, he might only be, 7 seconds back right now, but he is still, holding his own ground right now. He's not as fast as Richie, but he's a driver. If you give him an opportunity here, let him make some adjustments here once this stage ends. I think that he might have something for Richie Coy. I mean, we've seen it so far. We talked about it in pre-race. We talked about it just not even 2 minutes ago. These RPM boys, they came and they showed up, and here's one of these guys, TJ Bartel, looking to try to make something happen here this weekend. And he's here to play. He wants to try to beat these Fury Motorsports guys. You already got one who's off the track, and that's Brody Hanna. Unfortunate circumstance for him, 2 weekends in a row, 2 bad finishes. And Richie Coy, who's been one of the guys to beat every single race from Season A all the way to Season B. These RPM boys, I would not be surprised, Jeremy, if we see them go 1-2 again here tonight again.
Yeah, it would not surprise me though, but Richie's got an excellent car right now. It's kind of stabled out, right? He did so well pulling away from 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and on back. But his car's kind of flatlined. When I say that, that's not a bad manner. He's still maintaining pace with 2nd and 3rd. He's just not advancing any more ground. So that tells me his long run car is pretty good. The short run, obviously, it's doing really good, pulling out such a massive lead here. And yeah, the only other guy that really not part of Fury in the RPM train that on the front of the boards here is that 33 of Sherwood Williford, Lone Ranger for Wayne Grassi Racing, also an affiliate team for Blackwater, which they had the 14 of Lane Allen. So those two in conjunction are kind of working together, which those two are also in the top 10. So really just the top 10 is full of 3 teams really.
Yeah, everybody really is just mixed up all the way around this racetrack right now, Jeremy. I mean, and for 41 laps in, you're starting to really see who's fast, who's not. I mean, and this is perfect right here. You're looking at the track map presented by iRacing iFlag here. And I mean, everybody really is all over the place. You see Richie Coy, he's all the way in 1 and 2 right now in a zip code of his own. You see other guys there all the way, 24th, 25th spot right now. They're a lap down. Then you see TJ Bartel. He's just heading off turn number 2 right now. There's Alan Crowell in the 41 machine. He's trying to make something happen here tonight. Still 23rd, up 6 spots from where he started. That's due to drivers having issues here tonight. These guys, though, Jeremy, once this pit stop happens, I have a feeling this could be the only caution we will get here tonight. And it's not going to be a natural caution. It's going to be that stage caution once all the top 10 guys cross the line after lap 45. And I think that Richie Coy is going to comfortably win this stage here. And then TJ Bartel 2nd. And Sherwood Williford still 3rd. A lot of these guys here, though, Jeremy, they're going to want to make as many adjustments as they can to make sure they're comfortable, because I expect them to expect a long run here once we get going here again after this stage ends.
Yeah, the way how everyone's spaced out. They finally, 20 laps into the race, I'm like, man, this thing's getting really good. And that was just people falling to the back and progressing forward. But after that, it is really just spaced out. And you saw it on the track map a couple laps ago. But Pit road is closed. That means 2 laps remaining before we get the caution for that stage break on lap 45. Richie Coy's picked up a whole second in the past 5 laps over TJ Bartel. Third place, 10 seconds back. That's with Sherwood Williford and Jeff Chandler, who are only a tenth away from each other. Oh, Jeff Chandler in the wall here on the exit of turn number 2 with the 33 as Sherwood Williford's going to bring out the caution a lap early from stage end, involving 2 of our top 5 guys here. Actually 3 wide with the 37.
On Brian Dublé. I'm sorry, but that was all on Brian Dublé off the corner. He's getting put. He's a lap down. He's getting put. I believe it was in the middle right there. We're going to take a look here at the Nerd TV replay. Just racing with guys right there, not getting out of the way. You see him right there, backs up the corner, and then just purely comes right down into the 31 of Jeff Chandler. Takes out 2 of the best cars here tonight so far. And this is more than likely going to end our stage, obviously, as we were on lap 44. Heartbreaker for Jeff Chandler and also the 33 right there of Sherwood Williford. You're riding on board with Brian Dublé. I don't know what he was thinking, man. I don't know if he thought that he was going to be clear, if the 31 was just not going to come up as much as he would. But man, you have to have more heads up than that. I mean, that's just uncalled for right there. You're racing 2 of the fastest guys on the racetrack. You shouldn't be in the middle. You should be getting out of the way right there. Uncalled for.
Yeah, I mean, the bright thing is Jeff Chandler, 31, didn't hit the wall too hard, so I think he's going to be okay. The 33 at Williford, his right front's a little more crumpled in, so I'm not sure how that car is going to perform. But as long as there's nothing broke internally, I think the structure of the car is going to be okay. It is stage break end. I got confused on that last week. I had to get a confirmation in the rule book that if there's a caution within 5 laps of stage, that is it. So within 1 lap here, definitely going to be stage yellow. Richie Coy will maximize his championship lead with 10 extra bonus points going to the B championship. But also, I was looking at the 37 of Brian Dublé. His line around the corner, he didn't fluctuate. So the only thing positive he had going is he stayed put. Now, the thing is with that, you had way faster cars running side by side. So you were going to block somebody. You could have moved up to the 3rd lane, but the same token, he didn't move. So, I mean, it's just an unfortunate circumstance all the way around. But, yeah, just tough break there for the 31 and 33. Hopefully they're able to contend. But it is stage yellow. We're going to kick this thing to picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back with you guys shortly before the drop of the green flag for stage 2. And back to full screen here as we have less than a lap to go. We're going to quickly go over the Nerd TV Top 10 recap here. Richie Coy going to be starting P1 again. Led every single lap in this race. Doing an excellent job. Now he's got some RPM boys to contend with. To his outside, second place, RPM first driver, Tori Torgerson, the 39. He's got a fresh set of tires. Let's see what he can do with the 19. TJ Bartel, 39's teammate. Also, Starting in third up behind Richie Coy. This is going to be really interesting inside the top 5. Austin Gassion doing an excellent job keeping himself in the top 5 all race long. Michael Blackner up 6 spots. He's going to be restarting in 5th. Kyle Milliken going to be starting in 6th. Chad Lang 7th. Colton Gum 8th. And actually, they extend the caution by one more. No, actually, no, I got my lap a little behind here. 7th place, Chad Lang. 8th, Colton Gum. 9th, Robert Malikian. In 10th place, Brandon Elder, who is up 18 positions since his drop of the green flag 48 laps ago. Really excited to see what the 51 can do here. But it is green flag action here. Richie Coy, your leader, elects to take the outside, which has that little extra banking through 1 and 2. But he doesn't need it. He's going to clear the 39 entering 1, no problem.
Yeah, he clears them easily there, Jeremy, being the control car, entering 1 and 2. Off 2 they go. Here comes Austin Gassion. He's up to the 2nd spot. He's not just up to the 2nd spot. He's got a run right now on Richie Coy. And oh no, what is this? Something of a miss right now. The 29 machine coming into the pits. Oh my goodness, heartbreak for the rookie. 49 laps into the Gateway 200, and the rookie is coming in. I'm speechless.
This race got weirder. Another guy just randomly comes down pit road, no idea. There's no damage to the car. If anything, maybe he got tagged for jumping the start, but I don't even think that's the case. But huge heartbreak. Top 5 all race long, doing well for his team, being the only driver in the field, and now he's on pit road. But now, looking at your race leader in the 42 of Kyle Milliken. What do you start, 4th or 5th place? And now he's contending for the race lead here as Richie Coy has a new competitor with him.
Still baffled right now, the fact that Austin Gassion, and he is still on pit road right now, Jeremy. Very interesting and very, very weird. Hearing that there's a hold, if I'm correct right now, hearing in my ear that there was a hold for him. So he probably was penalized for something more than likely. But I mean, Kyle Milliken, look at him, up 11 spots from where he started. He could challenge Richie Coy here for this lead. He is right on the bumper, almost out of 4.
Yeah, this is a pretty good battle here. Can the 42 sustain this run? 42 is not really known at FTSR for the long run haul where the 19 is, the 30, the 31, the 39. So the only time will tell on this one. Kyle's another one of those drivers who loves running the upper lanes. And just you don't have that option here at Gateway, so you got to figure out how to pass him when you're definitely in the wake of the car in front of you, which there's enough speed here. Man, he carries a lot of speed, Jason, through 3. He just can't hold it through 4 here as Richie just has a much better exit.
Yeah, but actually, though, Jeremy, he didn't have that bad of an exit. He is almost even with Richie there off the corner. And Richie really backed up the middle of his entry right there. And here we go. Look at this. Look at the 42 all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. Tries to get to the 19. Not going to do it. Richie diamonds the corner. Nearly brushes the wall off, too. He's going to try to scoot away here from Kyle Milliken. But Kyle really needs to try to keep the tires on it, Jeremy. He's got to think bigger picture. This is probably going to be a long-run race. If he could just save the tires, he might be able to have something for Richie Coy. One of the great things I love, though, about the new SDK Gaming Live timing and scoring right now is that I can see people's iRating. Richie Coy's 3,700 iRating to Kyle Milliken's 1,900 iRating. Big difference right there in skill and experience right there. But, I mean, if you're Kyle Milliken right now, man, you got to show Richie Coy that you mean business, regardless of your iRating, and he is doing a great job doing so. He's just got to not overdrive the corners, make sure he backs up his entry, easy on the exit, and make sure he can save those tires to try to contend in case we do have a late race yellow, or maybe he could purely just save his tires better than Richie Coy and the rest of the field, and he could drive away.
And what I'm noticing, one big difference between the 19 and the 42, the 19 is run the same exact line every single lap. The 42 has been in different entrances, running high, running low, trying to figure it out, trying to get below him. He's struggling to maintain a really good pace with one single line as 19 just has it locked in. No surprise there. 19, one of the most consistent drivers in FTSR. And it shows each and every single week. Kicking a back couple cars to the Troy and TJ, your 3rd and 4th place cars. Their long run setup. We've seen them come through the field, and now, starting inside the top 5, they're just biding their time. They know based off of stage 1 that the laps, it's going to be a long green flag run. So they're going to be buttoning on that one. They have no one to contend for to pass with, so they can save their tires in that notion. So expect them in 30 laps to be there. But their teammate, the 31 Jeff Chandler, who was involved in that wreck to end stage break, he had dropped all the way back to 21st currently. So he has to pass a slew of cars, and he's going to be one hoping for a caution because, if he gets back in that top 5 somehow tonight, watch out for him as well.
Definitely, Jeremy, but I mean, that damage, though, is definitely going to affect him a little bit. He's got the right front. Looks like it's crumpled in just a little teeny tiny bit. But everybody else, though, right now is cool, calm, collective. Everybody's single file. They know that this race is going to play into a tire strategy, maybe even a fuel-saving game. It could come down to pit strategy. Who knows? There's a bunch of guys up here who love pit strategy. One of those guys is Chad Lang right there. He's currently sitting in 6th. Only 1 spot dropped since the start of this race. So he's doing good. The Canadian is out here. He means business. Currently just sitting outside the top 5. He could sniff. He could smell the top 5 right now. He's trying to close in on Michael Blackner in the 87 and Bartel in the 30 for RPM Motorsports. And a lot of guys, though, they're just trying to mind their own time right now, mind their own business, and making sure that they can get to their pit window and try to save their tires, and hopefully they can have something here later on in this race.
Yeah, the long run is definitely going to be your best friend. Take care of that stuff. Michael Blackner able to maintain right now, up 6 spots still, just outside or inside the top 5 rather. We've seen Alan Duranko, another one of those huge movers from 26th place on the grid to P9, that being the number 2, as this race is single filed out about 10 laps or so since the drop of the green flag. And just like stage 1, they're single filed. So now we're going to see again probably in another 10-15 laps if this thing really picks up. But then after that, that long run sets in, and you saw the cars just scattered everywhere on this track. So most likely going to see more of that around lap 100.
Yeah, I mean, once we start getting about 15 laps in, 20 laps in right here, Jeremy, into this run from when they pitted, that's when you're really going to start to see that battling that we saw there towards the end and middle part of that opening stage. So, I mean, just keep the tires on it, man. It's really all I can say right now. Everybody's really single file. You just want to make sure that you can keep the tires on it, and especially if you're the RPM Motorsport guys of Troy Torgerson and TJ Bartel. You talked about it, Jeremy. They have those long run setups. But the thing that really makes me think that they're not going to be able to close the deal out is Richie Coy was about 6.5, 7 seconds ahead at the time of that caution there towards the end of that opening stage. And obviously we haven't gotten to the point to where he was opening up a 6.5 second gap right now. But Richie Coy is still very, very strong on those long runs. This is going to be the guy you have to beat tonight. He loves these flat tracks. He loves these short track type racetracks. I mean, hell, Richie Coy is pretty much good everywhere we go here. So Richie Coy is definitely going to be the number 1 guy that you want to beat here tonight, that number 19 Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang.
Yeah, we're just 20 laps shy of meeting the halfway point in this race. I think this is about the time where we're going to see that long run setup start to come into play. We're seeing the 42 falling off. He's now 1.5 seconds back after trying to contend for that race lead. But then I'm looking at the telemetry of the 39 and 30 that's behind him, and everybody else really, they're slowly reeling in the 42. So we kind of expect this to happen a little bit more and more as the clocks tick away here. Looks like the field runs probably 50 laps or so, 55 maybe. So with that rate, we're going to see 1 green flag pit stop for sure. Most likely we're going to see 2 if it does go green the whole way.
Yeah, but you know something though, Jeremy? I wouldn't be surprised if you see somebody try to make the one-stopper happen. I mean, it happens. You got guys, it's early on in Season B. Some of these guys are going for the overall championship. Some of these guys are just here for Season B, man. They're here to have fun. They want to pull a trick out of the old hat there like a magician. And I mean, it very well could happen. Somebody could be like the Magic Man, Cal Naughton Jr. It's Talladega Nights here tonight. I mean, there's guys who are in the back of this field right now who might try to undercut. There's guys up in the front who might try to stay out longer than some of the leaders. I'm looking at drivers like maybe Alan Duranko in the number 2. He might be able to do something. Wayne Grossi in the number 7 machine. and then guys in the back who might try to do the undercut. Tony Solari, he was up in the top 10 earlier. He's now all the way back at 21st. So Tony might try to do something. Maybe Alan Crowell, Jeff Chandler, who had such a fast car. He knows he's got the car. It's just now he has to depend on cautions, who's in front of him, who's around him, his tire strategy, and when he pits. So, I mean, this is definitely going to be a strategy game here, Jeremy, I believe, if, in fact, we do go green all the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long race if it goes green for a lot of these guys, especially the ones that don't have the best handling car. You're frustrated enough that you can't make the ground, and then, then you have no help, no assistance to get that car worked on. I'm going to kick it back over to second place. We're about to see a position swap here. The 39 of Troy Torgerson, he's there. He's about 2 car lengths now from the 42 of Milliken. Runs a lot higher than the 39 does, and you can see the entrance just all for the 39. Coming off corner exit, it does not help the 42 at all. It just tells me he's running a little bit tighter, can't get to the throttle as quick as the 39. He's going to dip the nose down, goes for an early entry. The 42 slides up, and just like that, here's that long run coming into play here, 39, P2.
And there goes Torgerson all the way to the bottom of the racetrack. They're side by side here down the long straightaway in Madison, Illinois, entering turn 1, hard braking zone. You see Milliken, he'll go all the way to the top, try to dime in the corner possibly, but Torgerson just way too strong on the bottom. But they're still side by side here off turn number 2. Just that last time around, Kyle Milliken was about half a second slower than the guys up inside the top 4. So Kyle Milliken definitely ate away his tires by trying to run Richie Coy down. And here he's also opening up the door for another RPM driver. That's TJ Bartel in the number 30 machine. This is the battle for third. They're still side by side here as they're entering 1.
And this is doing nothing but helping Richie Coy, who's gained a second and a half almost in the past 3 laps as this side-by-side has been going on. And now the 87 Michael Blackner, that's Fury Motorsports driver, he's now going to look to the inside of the 42 to put Kyle Milliken back into 5th place. That car is definitely not set up for this long run, and it's going to show. And it's going to keep getting worse. But thankfully, he's got a huge gap now between the 87 and the next guy behind him, that being the 4 of Chad Ling. About 2 whole seconds split separate those 2 guys. And Jeff Chandler, just to report back to him, he's only gained a couple positions since I talked about him rather. He's up to 18th place, a last lap by. It's going to actually up to 17th now as they cross the line. But he's 14 and a half seconds back, so not really making that ground like he did in stage 1. So maybe there's something a little internally damaged in that 31 machine.
Affecting him here, Jeremy. I mean, and what a heartbreaker here for the 31 machine. You talked about last week, put so many laps down at Charlotte here. And I mean, he went out and he didn't just win it, man. He practically almost dominated the race. Had a car that could have won here tonight. I mean, he very well could still win. We've seen crazy things in iRacing. I mean, it could happen. He could go back to back. But I mean, what a heartbreaker scenario here for the 31. I mean, you have such a fast car. Your teammates are all running up there, and it's just a heartbreaker to see Jeff Chandler running in the back like this.
Yeah, 33 Willow for a dealer guy involved in that wreck at stage end. He hasn't done too much in the back as well, only up to 14th place, so about 6 or 7 cars that he's passed. And you see him on, or at least camera focused on him right behind the 67 of James Wallace, the 10 of Colton Gum. And here's that lap 2025 part where the tires are starting to shift around and we're starting to see some positions change. So we're seeing a couple of side-by-side scenarios here. We've got a nice little group of cars in for position here. Robert Malikian leads turn 2, and you can go on board with Joshua Johnson off turn 2.
It looked like Malikian right there almost hit the outside wall. If not, he kissed it there off turn number 2 down the straightaway. Maybe misjudged his depth perception or whatnot, and he just barely kissed the wall there off turn number 2. But Josh Johnson, though, he's still making headway up towards the front slowly but surely. He's up into the top 10, sitting 8th right now, plus 10 from where he started. And also Alan Duranco back there, the number 2 machine. He's another driver who's up a lot of positions, plus 16 from where he started, currently just holding that top 10 position right now. But Josh Johnson, you can see him right now. He's talking to whoever he's talking to, probably his teammates, probably his buddies, crew chief, whoever it may be. You see him right there from the comfort of his own sim racing cockpit, hard into 3 and 4 right now. He's absolutely digging right now, trying to pass the 22 machine of Robert Malicki in there. And here he goes down the front straightaway. We're going to have to see if Josh Johnson can get past him. Maybe Josh has something for the leaders here if this race just plays into his strategy here later on in the stages.
A few cars behind him is really starting to heat up, really led by the 31 there of Chandler. You got the 7, the 33, the 67, the 51, the 16. They're in a huge line here down the back straight. Looks like they just had a restart. And this is where the people are starting to really just kind of fall back, move forward. 67 venturing to the top half of the track here. That's an uncharacteristic move for anybody here at Gateway. That high up into turn 3, basically in the marbles at that point. But we know the 67 loves running the top when he can. And he's searching, trying to get anything. It didn't actually hurt him too bad, Jason. He got a great launch off exit and was able to catch back up to the 7.
In 4, I don't really think he should really be running the top. I think if there's anywhere he should be running, it's going to be in 1 and 2. But right now, though, you know, I mean, you're going to have a lot more grip. The track temp right now is about 104 degrees right now. It's telling me on the SDK live timing and scoring right now. You see 105 degrees right now on our weather conditions presented by Roasted Gems Coffee. Wind, not really a factor, but 86 degrees temperature. That's pretty much just like what it was in yesterday's Cup race. Partly cloudy right now. The track temp was about 114 degrees at the start of this race, so almost dropped about 10 degrees. Still a hot and slick track, but this partly cloudy skies right now with the shade, cloud cover over the racetrack, definitely helping some of these guys right now at grip. But the sun, you're starting to see the screen go brighter and brighter here on Dustin's end, our producer right now. It's really, you know, oh my goodness, we got a bunch of gaggle of cars right here side by side. The 31 almost up and into another driver. Their contact made down the front straightaway. The 31 right there, Jeff Chandler, almost into Mark Brannigan Jr. there, the 20 machine. They made contact off 2. He'll try to throw the slider in 1 and 2. He'll complete that pass. Man, Jeff Chandler is not having a good night here, Jeremy. That could have been another moment where he could have been going around.
That's the third time where he's made some contact, not of his doing. It doesn't look like anyways. That time we got really questionable coming off of 4, but thankfully they're able to, you know, figure things out, separate themselves, and we're staying green flag as we're on board here. Inside of 3 wide on the 88 here, Brannigan, just too much high side, you know, of the track being taken up, and maybe the 31 just shifted up a little too high. 88 had no really go, kind of sandwiched in there unless he really wanted to lift, which who wants to do that, right, when you're inside the top 10? So just kind of all came together, ran out of real estate, and but we're still going straight. But it really spaced out the cars that were racing right there. Now they're all 4 car lengths separated each other. I don't see any too wide really, other than 1 car really far in the back. But as these guys are going close to the halfway mark in this race, we're going to go to picture-in-picture commercial break. We'll be back with you guys momentarily.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen action here. Currently on lap 83 of scheduled 160, so just past the halfway mark. And we had a decent battle going there momentarily, but that kind of quickly faded. Now just kind of single filed out at this point into that gritty part of the race where you're just logging laps. You got to play the mental game. Pit stops, though, they're about 40 laps or close to 40 laps on this set of Goodyear tires. So in the next 10 to 20-ish, I would imagine there's going to be a pit stop. And Jason, you might, at 70 or 60 laps is a huge stretch to make it, but you might see some takers, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it really is a stretch. I mean, these guys got 4 sets of tires in the pits here today. So, I mean, I believe they have about 2 sets left, if I'm correct right now. But, I mean, everybody right now is just fighting and clawing right now for every position on the racetrack. I mean, you saw the 14 of Lane Allen. He threw a slider on Josh Johnson and won about a couple laps ago. But right now, this is the battle currently going for the 3rd place spot up on the podium. You see Michael Blackner. He's been kind of hanging in right now with Troy Torgerson. You see Torgerson. He's right now riding up at the outside towards the middle of the top of the racetrack. But you see Michael Blackner. Oh, and this changes everything. The Roasted Gems Coffee Caution flag has come out. And this is huge. I'm not too sure who it was. It might have been Alan Crowell. It might have been Ryan Chapman. Not too sure who it was there back straightaway.
Ryan Chapman, the 27, brings out Roasted Gems Coffee Caution number 2, who has a little self-spin moment there on exit of turn 2. You're on board with him now. We're going to see what this looks like. It just kind of hits that banking transition between the second and first groove. Kick the car sideways and he locks it down, slides in front of a couple cars that are much faster than him. So the iRacing steward said, you know what, time to throw out the caution. And you know, one driver that's screaming hallelujah right now is that 31 of Jeff Chandler.
Yeah, and you know who else is probably screaming hallelujah right now is the 42 of Kyle Milliken. That short run speed, man. He knows he's got the short run speed. He just needs to try to make an adjustment, try to have that mindset that he can have a good long run speed car here. I mean, Kyle went from 2nd all the way back to 6th. So I think this is a huge break here for the 42 of Milliken and obviously the 31 of Jeff Chandler. And we were talking when we went to picture-in-picture mode, Jeremy, for the folks at home. Jeff Chandler, when we were on picture-in-picture mode right at the start of that, Jeff Chandler was the fastest on the racetrack by 2/10. So despite the issues tonight, Jeff Chandler is a man on the mission. He wants to join his RPM Motorsport boys, and he wants to steal a win away here from Fury Motorsports and Richie Coy.
No surprise to see everyone come down pit road, but this will shortcut what you were saying earlier. So there's going to be at least one more pit stop after this one to get this thing all squared away, as there are 72 laps or so from the end of tonight's race. Got to hit your marks clean, though. Track position seems to be a strong point here at Gateway. Coming off, though, good battle here. 30-39 is going to resume 2nd, 3rd. Everyone, for the most part, actually kind of keeps their same position as they came in. Clean pit stops all around.
Yeah, everybody really just did a great job coming in and out of the pits right there. You see some guys 3 wide. You see the 51 for Brandon Elder. It's the green commitment code. No harm, no foul. No, that's not a penalty on the iRacing service there coming out of that. But Richie Coy able to maintain that lead. But I will say this. He was good last restart, but can he hold off the Fury Motorsports guys now that they are pretty much all grouped up? And what does Jeff Chandler have? I mean, there's so many storylines here, Jeremy, heading into the latter stages of this race here. We're realistically going to go green here, probably at lap 91, lap 92 here as they come across the line. Pace car lights still should be on. They are. So probably going to be going green about lap 91, lap 92. Richie Coy has dominated all night long as a storyline. This is his race to lose. And then the RPM Motorsport guys, they have been lights out here tonight. They just can't seem to get to Richie Coy. But now that he's in the palm of their hands here on this restart, what can they do? How can they work together? How or what adjustments did they make to their cars in the pits to try to outrun the Fury Motorsports driver from Haskell, New Jersey? I mean, this is going to be probably the money restart right here in Germany, if I had to say so. I don't expect us to have any more cautions. This is going to be the restart that's going to make or break your race.
Yeah, we know 31 or the 30 and the 39, and even the 31, you can bring him into that conversation, have the long run setup, but they need to maintain with Richie on his short runs. There's nobody in the field that's even close to the 19 now when it comes to the first 10 to 20 laps of this event. That's where he's really shining. I also want to say another hallelujah driver is going to be that Austin Gassion, the 29, coming off that penalty from the restart. He never went a lap down, so he's good. He's going to be starting in the back, though, but we saw the 31 do the same thing, just come through the field. So the 29 is going to be restarting in 20th place on this start as we're getting the 1 to go. Richie Coy looks to elect the high side again, which is going to be very favorable amongst these drivers. I saw in the truck race that quite a few took the bottom, and it played 50-50. So lessons were learned for this Cup Series race, and the high side from Richie Coy is going to be it.
Yeah, and I mean, Richie's going to have a great restart, just like he did last time and the time beforehand. I mean, but he's got those Fury Motorsport drivers around him. He's got TJ Bartel on the inside, and then TJ Bartel's got his teammate Troy Torgerson right behind him. So you know they're going to be trying to push one another heading down into 1 and 2. And the real question is going to be, will Michael Blackner be able to give his fellow Ford driver a push going down to turn 1? It's Ford, all the way from Richie Coy, 3 cars behind him, all the way back to it's Robert Malicki in there in the 22 machine. So this is going to be a key restart here, Jeremy. This will make or break your race more than likely right here. And we're coming to the restart.
Yeah, this will be the third time we see the green flag fly tonight. The 19 is under the heaviest pressure he's going to experience all night long here. Restart does happen on lap 91. Green flag is out. Richie clears a 30 by a car length. Again, the outside lane does not matter because he's going to be able to clear TJ Bartel to 1 side by side. Michael Blackner and the 39 there are Torgerson as they go through turns 1 and 2. Clean corner for looks like everybody. Crowell get really close to the wall, but still no contact there. Little crisscross action in the back there from the 6-7 and the 7. As we look on board now with the number 2 of the 2 of Duranco, the 33 of Sherwood Williford in the back. Guys are quickly getting single filed out here, especially inside the top 10. Very, very similar restart here compared to the other 2 tonight.
I mean, everybody, though, is just fighting and clawing for positions every chance they get, because this could be the only time that they're going to be able to pass on these fresh Goodyear Eagles here down the back straightaway. Everybody's single file, 1 car up into the wall, 2 cars up in the wall. That was Brandon Elder and Alan Crowell there. And man, oh man, did Connor LaFrance just barely hit that opening down the back straightaway. That does not exist anymore. I've seen a lot of drivers hit the wall, have terrible crashes there in real life back in the day. I've seen cars go up and over down the back straightaway. That is still open on iRacing compared to real life. So those guys got to be really careful with that outside opening gate. You'll see it right here off turn number 2. You're seeing the 16 battle with the 33 of Williford right here down the back. You're looking on board the 16 right there. That wall, it comes out. It's an entry and an exit way for safety vehicles to get on and off the racetrack, and that is still there on the iRacing service. So those guys got to be mindful of that here tonight. But you're seeing some great battles all over this field here, but the real question is going to be up at the front of the field. Does anybody have anything for Richie Coy. You see Bartel and Blackner, they're still there hanging in with Richie Coy. But man, this 19 has been lights out. You might as well consider him a Red Bull car here, because he is just like Max Verstappen. He is putting a whooping on the field here tonight, and he's not just doing it by a little bit, he's doing it by a lot. Does anybody, Jeremy, have anything left for Richie Coy here as we approach the lap 100 mark?
I say yes, absolutely, because we are 4 laps into this run, and Richie's not able to pull away like he has been to every single other person that's restarted alongside him. So this long run is going to be the best chance possible if anyone wants to pass the number 18. It's going to be the 87. It's going to be the 30, the 39. Even Chad Lang here in the 4. He's been sticking around inside this top 5 basically all race long, fluctuating from anywhere from 4th back to 7th or 8th. And he's maintaining pace here with all these guys up front. So this lead battle, if Richie does fall off like he has been the past couple times, any one of these guys in the top 5, I think in my book, minus or including rather Jeff Chandler in the 31, any one of these guys has a solid chance here tonight.
I think one guy really, and you just said his name, is Jeff Chandler. I think he wants to try to have a long run. Didn't get the last restart that he really wanted. You see him right there, just up in front of Kyle Milliken. He leads that second pack compared to the 5-car pack up ahead of him. He's trying to chase down Chad Lang right now. I think that Jeff Chandler right now, though, he's just hoping for that long run speed. He's had the long run speed despite the damage, everything here tonight. Jeff Chandler has been to hell and back, and here he is up at the front of the field, top 10, just outside the top 5. He wants to try to have a long run right here, and then if it doesn't come into favor, maybe try to get a short run, pick up some positions, have a late race yellow, and try to have something here for Richie Coy right now. But Richie Coy starting to pull away just a little bit, but TJ Bartel's still right there if anything were to happen to the number 19 machine.
I mean, really impressed with all these guys. That last time off of turn 2, I don't know if you saw everyone pulling on corner exit, just getting so close to the wall. Like, everybody was probably maybe 7 inches away or less. It was pretty impressive there as we're going to go through 1 and 2 this time with a RMP Digger cam. I don't think this thing even exists anymore, but excellent camera on the rumble strips. Wall mounted camera here coming through corner X, and a lot of people this time go a lot more conservative, stay away from that wall. But I think, Jason, these cars behind Richie, I think they've already kind of shifted power, and they are either maintaining or slightly catching the 19.
He might be here though, Jeremy, but I mean, we've seen this 19 time and time again where, I mean, he only had that one win, I believe it was in season A, right? You know, if I'm correct, I believe it came in Kansas. And here he is tonight. He's trying to put a dominating performance on. He's pretty much led every single lap, I believe. I mean, we've seen it though, like I said, time and time again, this 19 car, you think somebody's going to have something for him, but they just don't. I mean, this guy dominates the Martin Sports Truck Series. He practically dominates here, just unfortunately hasn't been able to pick up wins, but he's been right there, top 3, top 5, top 10. Had some trouble here and there, but Richie Coy is always a driver to look out for, always up at the front of the field, always dominating. I mean, I just don't know if anybody's going to have anything for him, and if they're going to have something for him, they're going to hope that he falls off here on the long run.
Yeah, definitely 10-4 on that. And yeah, Richie Coy only had 1 win last season, so you are correct there. I had to go back and take a look at that to make sure that stat was correct, because I'm used to seeing Richie have multiple wins. So the fact that he only had 1 win last season shows how much more competitive things have gotten here at FTSR. Love to do a quick shout out to one of our partners. This time, iRacing iFlag, open sourced race marshalling light board system. It has 64 LEDs that give you all the notification that iRacing has to offer, and a beautifully built 3D printed unit that sits right on your desk. Gives you up to 30 different iRacing notifications. You can change the brightness, but either way, at the lowest level, this thing is bright enough. You're clearly going to know what's going around you at all times, and it kind of really completes your sim rig, really. Think of it as like the light board system that's on all the catch fences on the modern tracks for NASCAR. It's kind of like that, but it is a lot more. So if you're looking to complete your sim rig, head over to iRacingIFlag.com. You can use that promo code SUPERNERD. It's going to save you 15% off anything you purchase from Jeff over at iRacing iFlag. These guys, Jason, are still just single file out there. I think there was a pass effort right in front here. Here it is, 33 in the 57. That's one of our onboard racers, Joshua Johnson, looking to get overtaken here by the 33 of Williford on the front stretch.
Yeah, we're going to take a look here from his onboard cam, see the intensity right now, see him tense up right now from the virtual cockpit. He's trying the best he can to hold off the 33 of Sherwood Williford, who's been so fast here tonight, got involved in that wreck with Jeff Chandler and Brian Dublais. The 33 loose there off turn number 2. Man, I almost gave him a commentator's curse. Good job. Heads up there to Sherwood, man. Good job by you to be able to save that race car. And he's now side by side with Colton Gum. No pressure in front of Joshua Johnson. He's going to try to set his sights now on Robert Malikian there in the 22 machine up ahead of him. And you see right now, the long ways to go before he can get to that 22 machine. So for Josh Johnson right now, it's just, hey, man, run your own race as you ride on board the roof cam for him. He's digging inside his virtual cockpit. He's just got to keep the tires on it. Hopefully, he'll be able to make his way up towards the front. Hopefully, Josh Johnson can make his way up into the top 5 by the end of this race.
And I really love his line through 1 and 2 there. There's so many ways to tackle 1 and 2, and he's slid up just probably a quarter, maybe a half of a car length to the middle of the turn 2, or the lane 2 rather, in turns 1 and 2. And then he did a small diamond, straightened out his car for corner exit, and got some great speed there. So it's really kind of keeping the 33 under check whenever you get someone to the inside of you, and you can maximize your straightaway speed on the top. Kind of keeps your position there. But the 33 is overall faster. I can see that, but the 57 is doing a great job kind of maintaining his position, currently running in 9th place. But these guys are maintaining pace, and if not somewhat a little bit faster than the couple cars in front of them. So as they compete, they're still holding on, doing great. So let's see how long this can maintain here.
I'm looking at lap times right now, speaking about him right now. Richie Coy wasn't even the fastest driver right now. I mean, that probably was just a throwaway lap for him. He's been the fastest car recently on the racetrack. But, I mean, Richie Coy, that last time around, he was off by about almost 2/10 compared to Michael Blackner, Troy Torgerson, and a few other guys. I mean, Jeff Chandler was faster than that last time around by almost 5/10 of a second. So maybe Richie's starting to struggle right now with grip. We're going to take a look at the lap times this time by, and looking at the SDK live timing, Richie is still not the fastest driver on the racetrack. That time around, TJ Bartel was a little bit faster than him by about a 10th or so. So Richie Coy is starting to fall off just a little bit. Maybe he's backed it off just a little bit more. But, I mean, the track's starting to cool down a little bit. These guys have a lot more grip. Maybe Richie feels comfortable to where he can back off just a little bit more.
Another attempt here by Williford. This time he's going to be in the preferred group through 3 and 4. He made a great 1 and 2 there, got to the inside of the 57. And there he goes, gets around him. Looks like Joshua maybe have given him that corner as he was a little easier on corner exit. 33 is going to move himself up to 9th place. Joshua Johnson back 1 spot to 10th. Quickly goes back to single file now with Lane Allen looking at the back bumper of the 57.
Yeah, and the 57, he's just trying to hang on for dear life right now. We talked about it. Josh Johnson had that clear racetrack ahead of him. Sherwood Williford, though, sure enough, he got back in front of Josh Johnson, and now Josh is under fire from Lane Allen, the 14 machine now. But everybody is everywhere right now on this racetrack right now. You see Tony Solari, he's got some right front damage. He's trying to get around the 16 right now of Connor LaFrance right now in that Toyota. A lot of guys right now, though, Jeremy, just trying to hang on. Maybe they're hoping for a caution. Maybe they're hoping to try to play some strategy later on in this race. We see the 11 almost get up into the 16 there, entering 1 and 2. Tony Solari struggling with grip. He is sideways off turn number 2.
Able to hang on to it here. Coming through 3 and 4. When your tires, a little huge check up there by the 16 in front of the 11. Had to slow up the entrance there for Tony Solari, but did not run into him. Coming off corner exit back. Never mind. It really messed up his whole groove there through 3 and 4. Tags the wall pretty good, which he hit the wall last time off turn 4 as well. So back-to-back laps. The 11 suffered a little more damage to that right front corner there. Drives through 1 and 2, and that car just looks like it really tightened up after that hit. That hit was a lot harder than it was the time before. So this is not going to be good. And as you said about 5 laps ago, this is one of those guys that are really wanting that caution.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a guy who wants caution, but look at this right now. I am looking at the leaderboard right now. I thought he was done. Here he is, 17th right now. Austin Gassione right now, the rookie, sitting 17th on the board right now, was in the pits, had an unexpected, I believe Dustin said it was a penalty in my ear, if I'm correct. He had to come into the pits. Here he is right now, running P17 right now, and he is still picking off spots right now. He's about to pick off another driver right now. That is Ryan Chapman in the 27, and sure enough, Gassione, he's going to go all the way up to 16th. They're still side by side here as you ride on board Ryan Chapman off turn number 4. You're going to see him here shifting. Gets a little loose off the corner. Nearly makes contact with Gassione. He upshifts down the straightaway. Here he comes into 1. Downshifting hard. 16 outside. Connor LaFrance. Ryan Chapman. Good save there off turn number 4.
You can see the wheel moving. Oh, you can see the wheel moving again now. Just car is not in good handling right now. Hits the wall. I think he's throwing out some words that thankfully we don't have audio for. Coming off turn 2, just wicked loose there again. As you said, he's consistently shifting around this track now, which is not good if you're shifting midway down the straightaway. Oh, it's loose again. Almost hit the wall once again. This 27 car is just not where it needs to be right now.
Yeah, neither is Solari. He popped the wall again there off turn number 4. I noticed right there, Jeremy. I didn't mean to cut you off. He popped the wall again. So that right front damage, and Ryan Chapman nearly goes around. Oh my goodness, I feel so bad for Ryan Chapman right now, man. He's looking like Yosemite Sam. He is fired up probably right now inside that virtual cockpit. He is struggling getting past left and right. Here comes Ryan Hedrick to his bumper. He's easily going to get to him. Ryan Chapman is struggling with grip in the rear of that car for sure. He has no drive off these corners. He is nearly spitting out. Remember though, Jeremy, he did cause our last caution, and it was off turn number 2 where he has been really struggling here, and you can see him right now off the corner, sideways, almost makes contact with Ryan Hedrick. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to stop saying his name because I'm going to commentator curse him.
Man, if it were me and you're looking at my camera when I was driving this kind of car in this situation, I would be all over my seat trying to figure out what in the blank do I need to do to get this thing going. As he is maintaining some great posture right now with the condition of his car that it's currently in. Looks like he had to straighten out through that set of corners, but yeah, good mention. That last caution was by the 27, getting loose off of turn 2, and right now you see more wiggle off turn 2. He might try to do a repeat here if he keeps this up. You can only go so often before these tires give up on you.
Yeah, I tell you what, man, I hope those gloves, I can't really see what the label is on them, but they better be Martin Sports gloves right now because he needs to get a grip right now behind the virtual wheel right now of that 27 machine. He is all over the place right now. I mean, that 27 machine is practically spinning out almost every single corner off every single part of this racetrack. He's lucky if he don't hit the hot dog stand by the end of this one.
And you left a great plug right there. You see in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh, there he goes. Saves it again. Huge save there, but he has to come down pit road sometime soon. He likes to not to this time, but this is only going to get worse. And that was almost as worse as it gets without hitting the wall or completely spinning out. So, man, he definitely needs a set of those Martin Sports gloves. That might get him straightened out a little bit more, but man, I don't know. I would be sweating. My whole body would be drenched with the amount of work that I have to do behind the wheel of this 27 right now.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate right now. I mean, that 27 machine is all over the place right now. And Shaman of Shaft, I hope I'm saying that right, says can't confirm those are Martin Sports gloves. So it's good that he's at least getting a grip right now with those Martin Sports gloves right now. And he is hanging on. That's probably why he hasn't spun out yet. And it's been only 1 spin instead of 2 right now. Ryan Chapman, though, Jeremy, he is definitely looking for a caution here pretty soon. I mean, he is just struggling inside that race car, but thank gosh that he's got the Martin Sports gloves to help him get a grip in that race car. But look at this up at the front right now. You're looking at Richie Coy. He has not been able to pull away the way that he's been recently. He's been pretty even with TJ Bartel. They keep swapping lap times between who's faster by about a tenth or 2 every single lap. And I mean, TJ Bartel hasn't been further back than about 2.25 seconds on Richie Coy. I mean, it was about under
2 seconds a couple laps ago, and it's been maintained by TJ Bartel doing a great job. He's back by about 2.1 seconds right now. I mean, if this race goes super long here, we don't have any cautions. I believe that TJ Bartel, Michael Blackner, and maybe even Jeff Chandler have something here for Richie Coy.
I appreciate our chat system where people can correct us on the spot and tell us exactly what's going on. And yeah, I mean, without them, I would have looped it for sure. But I did see the 51 of Brandon Elder. He came down pit road. He gave up the lead lap to do so. So I don't know if that was just a really early start of seeing these green flag pit stops that have to occur. But actually, no, we're going to kick it back. He's still there. So I'm going to take all that back. I don't see much damage other than some right front separation between the bumper and the side panel. So I don't know if that was just more of a mechanical situation or whatnot, but you see the 27 as he just drove by on the screen. He finally made his way down pit road.
Yeah, he finally made his way down pit road. Not only for some fresh Goodyear Eagles, he's probably getting himself a fresh pair of pants right now because he was probably having a no crap moment ovals every single end of the racetrack right now. It looks like he may have parked it right now, if I'm correct. He does not look, and yes, he did. Ryan Chapman had enough. He's got to wash them Martin Sports gloves here tonight after this one, man, because them things are probably drenched with sweat right now. I feel so bad for Ryan Chapman. He's had a hell of a save at every end of this racetrack, spun once, and I think he just finally had enough. Hopefully he'll have a better run next week in Sonoma.
He pulled a me like from yesterday's stream that we had on Nerd TV World, Nerd2's page, where I said when I was done, I turned my camera off, and now Ryan Chapman doing the same thing, signaling the okay that he is done. That was just a rough handling car all race long for that 27, so it does not totally surprise me that he is calling it quits 40 laps shy of tonight's end. But I want to kick it back. Well, I actually see the 47 coming off pit road, so that was another lead lap car making his way down pit road. So this is where we might start to see some green flag takers here, few and far between. I've only seen, 2 cars come down so far. So keep an eye out on that. And also Richie Coy has surprised me, by the way. Now up to a 2-second lead, and he has found some long run speed over the rest of the field, including the RPM guys. So Richie Coy all of a sudden became a weapon on the long run.
Well, hold your horses now. The gap is still 2 seconds, and in fact, it just went under 2 seconds for just a split second. And gosh, oh my goodness, do not count out Jeff Chandler. Jeff Chandler, that last time around, ran a 36 flat practically. Richie Coy ran a 36.43. Jeff Chandler, Jeremy, if this race just happens to go green all the way, knock on wood, hopefully I don't commentate or curse Jeff. I've been speaking very highly of him during this broadcast. I mean, to go from a spin, you are practically wrecked. You made your way all the way up into the top 10. You were wrecked. You should have been done. And to come up 16 spots from where he started, to be faster than the leader by right now by 0.4 of a second is insane. Jeremy, I think we're setting up to have ourselves a good long race finish here. And I think Jeff Chandler might just have something for Richie Coy.
He picked up another 3.5 tenths that lap 2 coming across. So 7.5 between 2 laps. 57, our other end race guy, Mr. Joshua Johnson, he is on pit road. So make this the 3rd green flag pit stop, which has been really spaced out so far. 1 car per 3 or 4 lap separation here. He's come to the surface of the crew. Easy pit stop there. No problems there. Jeff Chandler last lap, 36.4 to Richie Coy's 36.5. So another 10th gain there. He's almost within 3 seconds. This is pretty impressive. Richie has to be looking at this and going, he's faster than me right now. I need to maybe come down pit road a few laps earlier than expected to try to compensate that difference, because that 31 is on the move.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, if you're Richie Coy right now, I would just stay out as long as you can. You know you got great short run speed. I mean, until you see TJ Bartel really start to get to you, I think that's when Richie Coy should really pit, because regardless, these guys have to pit. And TJ Bartel has been able to gain consistently. He has not given up, and neither has Jeff Chandler, because Jeff Chandler is right there, man. He is almost cracked below 3 seconds of that gap between him and Richie Coy. And TJ Bartel has gained about half a second these last few laps. It is now below a second and a half right now. I think if you're Richie Coy right here, Jeremy, I think once TJ Bartel closes in, and that's if he closes in, once he closes into about under a second to maybe 0.8 of a second, I think that's when you pit if you're Richie Coy, because that could be the moment that's going to make or break your race. He knows he's the fastest car on the track, maybe not in the long run, but once he puts these fresh Goodyear Eagles on here, I think Richie Coy is going to have a big advantage knowing that he has great short run speed. So look out. This is going to be a strategy game here. And I think you're going to have the race for the lead between these three guys. It's going to be between Coy, Bartel, and Chandler. And maybe if Michael Blackner can pull something out of the hat, maybe throw him into the mix as well. But those three guys up the front right now who are 1, 2, 3, one of those guys is going to be a race winner here tonight.
Second and third, all are in the same exact lap time essentially as Richie Coy that time around. First time we've seen everybody flatline. But these guys, they were coming up to 30 laps to go. Not this time, but next time by. So 31 laps to go at the line right now. This is going to be, whenever they pit, it's going to be like a half of or a little bit longer than a short run type run. So we've seen the 60 lap runs here. We're seeing it now. These guys haven't pitted since, what, lap 85-ish when that caution had come out last. So about 55 laps on these set of tires almost. We're getting close to being completely down to the cords. But when they come down pit road, expect some of the fastest times of this entire race to pop up on the board all of a sudden with that shorter run coming up.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe, though, right now that the fact that TJ Bartel and Jeff Chandler have been able to really maintain that gap and reel in Richie Coy. I mean, Jeremy, I'm sure we both thought here once we went to commercial break on that last caution, I think we both thought that Richie Coy was probably going to get away. I mean, we kept talking about it too. Maybe these guys have something, but like in my head, I was like, I just, like realistically, I just don't think about it. I mean, Richie Coy is loose right now. You can see right now, he's struggling with grip off 2, and maybe a little bit off 4. I mean, that back end was wiggling off the corner. He's kind of pulled out a little bit more now. He's about almost 2/10 up from what he was. But, I mean, TJ Bartel is still right there. This race is so close. It's going to be so close with strategy. It's going to be so close with who pits when, who beats who in, who has a better stop, who has a better entry, exit, whatever. There's so many factors that are going to go into the finish of this race if we don't have a caution. I really hope and pray, knock on wood, we don't have a caution because I would love to see this race run green. I would love to see if these RPM boys can compete with Richie Coy because he has been the class of the field. He's been stout, and Richie Coy has got his head way up high above his shoulders. He's ready to take a win here tonight.
I believe it. There's going to be at least 2 of these guys within a half a second from each other when we get down to the nitty-gritty and final few laps of this race. Hitting your marks on pit road, you have to go down the access road in turn 3, something you don't see often on the circuit for any of the series. So you have to do that correctly, even quickly, right? You have to do it correct, but you have to do it quick, or else you're going to lose a lot of ground going through a corner that you're not used to taking. Not many people practice the access road, so it's really flat, almost no banking at all, if any. You have to do it for the entire stretch of 3 and 4. So that might be a factor of how people come off of pit road here, coming to the line this time. Richie completes lap 133, runs a 36.94. Jeff Chandler runs a 36.48, so a half a second faster than your race leader, that 31 is, that last lap.
Crazy to see Jeff Chandler. I mean, and what a comeback story it would be to go from a spin to a win if he just in fact does it. And right now, these guys are catching him. The RPM boys are catching Richie Coy. They have now gained 2/10 on Richie Coy that last time around. And TJ Bartel is continuing to reel him in. Bartel is going to have something here for Richie Coy, Jeremy. And like I said, if you're Richie Coy, man, I mean, these guys are probably going to have to pit. But at the looks of it right now, I honestly don't know. I mean, they're almost to lap 140 and 160. They might be banking on everything they have right now. They might not even pit. I mean, there's only 15 cars on the lead lap right now. And by the looks of it, I'm looking right now up at the stat sheet. And some of these guys have pitted. Some of them haven't. Some of them pitted 2-3 times. The only driver who pitted 3 times right now, and that was back on lap 87 or 88, was Austin Gassione. He's on the same tire strategy practically. The only one who currently is not on the same strategy, who is the fastest right now of these guys, but he's 1 lap down, is Ryan Hedrick. He last pitted on lap 120. I don't know, Jeremy. I think these guys might have everything they got right now. I don't know if they're going to be pitting here anytime soon.
And you see the stint laps right there. It's basically all the same there. And that's such a long run, being around lap 87 or so to make it to lap 160. That's a huge amount of laps. I know this is a shorter track, but almost 200 laps around a track that's 1.25 miles in length. If they can make it, which at this point, if it were me, I would be already down pit road if I was the Chandler Carr or TJ Bartel, because I want to shortcut the pit stop. But if nobody's coming down pit road and they can all make it, then it doesn't matter, right? So I expected a much different scenario, but if they can stretch it, that'd be really surprising to me.
Yeah, it would be really surprising. I mean, but you might see it. I mean, these guys have 24 laps to go. I mean, I just don't think they're going to be pitting. I really, really don't. I mean, you pit now. I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe they will be pitting. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an estimated fuel number of what these guys are running. I'm not driving these cars. All we can do here in the booth is really project when we think they're going to be pitting and whatnot. But I mean, I just don't know. But hey, look at this though. Richie Coy, he is pulled back out. I don't know if he severely dropped off the pace to save tires or maybe fuel. But I mean, he gained that gap all the way back up. It was about 1.3. It is now almost 2 seconds from Coy to Bartel. So Richie Coy might have turned on the jets and kind of saved a little bit more. But I mean, only time's going to tell here. We're going to have to find out here.
Yeah, Richie had that half a second woe there I mentioned about 5 to 10 laps ago. And then that next lap after, he regained everything and then some over the guys. So a little bit conservative exit there from the 30. So they might be playing the conservation game just a hair, maybe just a little less throttle on corner exit. Don't run the RPM so high down the straightaways, a little more coasting through the center of the corner. It's going to eat up a little bit of your lap time, but not too much overall. You see them, yeah, just really low on corner exit there off of 4. So my money's on the fact that they are going to go the distance, and they're going to do all the strategy they can to make it there to the end.
Yeah, they're definitely doing that right now. And I mean, right now that gap is still the same. I just don't know if anybody's going to have anything for Richie Coy right now. And I mean, if a caution comes out right now, this is going to be huge. And Richie Coy is hitting lap traffic. He is currently trying to get around Alan Crowell, but I believe Alan Crowell is on fresher tires than him. And yes, he definitely is. You can just see right now how fast he is off the corners. And Richie Coy has pulled that gap out now to 2.3 seconds. So Richie Coy might have been fooling us all, Jeremy. He might have been saving big time there. That's why Bartel and Chandler were able to gain so much here.
Yeah, very well could. And the 30 right now, Hasta and the 31 are letting all the fast cars around that have pitted. That's a huge time difference. This is going to slow some people up. And when they get to Richie, Richie's going to have to give way as well. So this could help or hurt this kind of strategy here when you try to save fuel. You have to go around the long way around the track to let these guys go by. So it kind of extends your run just enough. It might make the difference if you're already trying to clutch it and if you're running on fumes at the end. But right now, Jason, we have under 20 laps to go in this race.
And with 20 laps to go right now, you're Richie Coy. You're just hoping, praying. No caution, please, please, please. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here. I'm still just like at a loss for words. I don't really know what to say because it's such a nail biter because there's 19 to go. Will they have enough fuel? I mean, by the looks of it, these guys think they have enough fuel. They can make it all the way right now. I just don't know, man. I really, really don't. And Ryan Hedrick right now, he's back on the lead lap. So, I mean, if the caution does come out, maybe Ryan Hedrick, he stays out. I mean, who knows? He can make up a lot of time from being on lap 120 tires compared to lap 87 tires. And also Mark Brannigan Jr. right now, he's on lap 130 tires. He just went around Richie Coy to get his lap back. So they are flying right now. They're hoping and praying that something happens to these guys up in front of them. Maybe a caution comes out. I mean, only time will tell, but Richie Coy, he has pulled that gap all the way out now by over 3 seconds. And guess what? Jeff Chandler has gotten past TJ Bartel. So this is going to be the race for the win right here. It's going to be between Chandler and Coy. The question's going to be is, does Chandler have anything left to shoot at Richie Coy? But because Richie Coy was able to back it up all that much, he is a lot faster right now than Jeff Chandler, and he's faster right now than Jeff by about 0.2 of a second.
Yeah, I'm kind of just really curious to see how the final 15 laps are going to play with the times. We've seen the huge fluctuations already. You see Ryan Chapman does officially back out of the server with 15 laps to go. Quick shout outs to one of our partners before we get this thing wound down and done. This time we're going to shout it out to the Mach-1 Performance, the official Cup Series for the Monday night racing here at Full Throttle Sim Racing. Mach-1 Performance is a race car fabrication shop that was started by the late Johnny Coy Jr. The shop has produced champions and winners of all sorts of racing divisions, from road circuits like the SCCA and NASA to dirt and pavement oval racing. So if you're interested to have your local car repaired on, worked on, whatever you got to do to it, and Mach-1 Performance is in your area, find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. At 15 laps to go here, Jeff Chandler 0.2 of a second up that last lap. So maybe he's starting to, find the go pedal a little bit more coming to the closing laps.
Yeah, and that's a possibility right now. He just gained about 0.2 of a second here just in about a lap. And he was only off Richie Coy's time by about 0.02 of a second. So maybe Jeff does have something for Richie, or maybe Richie really is just toying with us up here in the booth. And also Jeff, that last time around, Jeff 0.2 of a second faster than Richie Coy. This is going to be one for the ages possibly right here in Germany. Coming down, you see Josh Johnson getting around TJ Bartel in the back right there. Obviously, some of these guys not going to be a factor unless anything happens. The guy right now who is the fastest with the freshest tires coming up through the field is Mark Brannigan Jr., but he is back by 29.5 seconds. Last pitted on lap 130, excuse me. I don't think he's going to have the time to do it, obviously. He's got 13 laps to make it all the way up to Richie Coy. He, last time around, ran a 35.576 compared to Coy's 36.7. So faster than him by a little over a second, but it's not going to be enough for sure because he's got to make up so much time in 13 laps. But the battle is still up at the front right now. Jeff Chandler and Richie Coy continuing to see who has the faster car. One's faster one lap, the other guy is faster the next. This is going to be interesting to see.
Going across the line this time. Let's see what the time difference is. Gets him by another 10th. So at this point, the pace is not there for the 31. Right now, the 19 struggling to get around the number 2. But if you also look in front of the 31, you see a bunch of cars that are a lap down. So this will be, they got 19 got around them, no problem. The 31 can do the same, then great. But this could be, a difference maker here to try to do that. But I don't think the pace is there for the 31 overall. 19 is just, he has found something on this long run and given it up midway through to save that fuel. But now he is just in the catbird seat. Huge gain there and back to 3.5 seconds almost over Jeff Chandler that last lap. So the 19 has definitely got this thing on rails, and we got 10 laps to go at the line.
Yeah, with 10 laps to go coming up. Richie Coy's hoping and praying. No yellow, please, no yellow. Jeff Chandler, though, he's hoping for the opposite right now. I think he got really mired up back in traffic, and you see right there Richie Coy loose off the corner, had to avoid the 16 of Connor LaFrance. He'll get his lap back, and here comes Colton Gum to get his lap back as well. Richie Coy has got to be careful. These guys who have fresher tires than him, we've seen it time and time again here on iRacing and also in the real divisions of NASCAR. You'll see guys who have fresher tires later on in stages and during green flag runs. They'll have faster tires. They'll have guys with older tires, and calamity can happen. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen here in FTSR. Richie Coy has just got to try to mire it back in traffic. Just be easy with it. Don't push the car. He's got over a 3.5 second gap right now over Jeff Chandler. He doesn't want to lose that.
as we got 9 laps to go this time. Gap still stays 3.6, almost identical from the last lap there. And that's after the lap cars have gone around the 19 for the most part, other than the 57 here. Just a couple more separation. They're going to be there to 19 in probably the next 5 laps or so. 19 runs the 57 down the track, just goes there. But Johnson's going to have a much faster set of tires. Through 3 and 4, clears them back to single file. Just the job the 19 has done to save the fuel and carry this speed for such a long run in this car. These guys have fallen off a lot, Jason. Remember, their practice times were in the low 34-second bracket. That last lap from Richie Coy, 37.3. That's a 3-second fall off with this 70-lap stint here on these set of tires.
I think something too, Jeremy, to note also the fact is that this track temperature has nearly dropped almost 20 degrees from the start of this race, and now it went from partly cloudy all the way now to just cloudy. So the cloud cover, the sun peeking out here and there, it's definitely helped Richie Coy and some of these other guys with the lack of grip and so forth, because I believe if that temperature was up higher around the 113 degree range like it was, you see it now bumping up to about 99 degrees Fahrenheit. It has definitely helped out these guys tremendously with the lack of grip here. I mean, it's definitely played into Richie Coy, Jeff Chandler, and TJ Bartel's favor here. We're coming to 6 laps to go. Richie Coy still just hoping no issues. No issues, please. He's wondering. Wayne Grassi nearly gave him the bumper there off the corner. He'll head down to the inside of the racetrack, easily get by Richie Coy. It was 6 laps to go. Richie Coy is trying to pick up his first win of Season B and trying to pick up right where he left off in Season A with that championship, trying to continue it on here to Season B.
Yeah, and Richie Coy came into this thing third in points after Charlotte, tied with the number 33 of Williford. So he's definitely going to pass Williford. And right now your points leader is the race winner from last week, Jeff Chandler, who was in second place. I don't know if Richie, by the stage points, might be closing in on Jeff. It's going to be basically a tie going into the third race at Sonoma, which we've seen the full Fury Motorsports guys. We've seen them do great work with Tony Solari's help around Sonoma last year. This year we have no idea what the RPM guys are going to do on this road course. So that'll be very interesting to see. We're going to have 5 to go at the line this time. And that lead is diminished a little bit, still 3 seconds though. It's either caution or you got the 19 going to victory lane, because I don't see any handling issues from the 19.
Yeah, he's doing just a tremendous job, dominating performance, and that's definitely a storyline too, Jeremy. You just mentioned it, to look forward to next weekend. You talk about these Fury Motorsports guys being so good on the road courses, especially with Tony Solari's help. He talked about it once to us. It's his bread and butter, and it's definitely a big staple for the Fury Motorsport guys. And with the resurgence of RPM Motorsports, I mean, what will they have for the Fury Motorsport guys next week? We know how strong Richie Coy is on the road courses. We definitely know how strong Tony Solari is, Brody Hannon, and all those guys. But what will these guys have next week? Richie Coy looks to be coming off here with a win here tonight. Knock on wood, if nothing happens, he hits 3 to go. But those RPM boys, they might just have something for the Fury Motorsport guys next week at Sonoma. But definitely expect the Fury Motorsports guys to be super, super stout next week there in Wine Country.
Yeah, 100% there, as we're 2.5 laps shy of wrapping up the Gateway 200. Very little lap traffic to work through for these leaders. We come around 3 and 4 here. We're going to get the 2 to go this time. Jeff Chandler visually looks like he's gained a little bit of ground, but yet again, it's going to be too much time to make up. Gets to the line, 2/10 there, but yeah, just great job here by 19. He's going to be close to tying this thing up for the points. I think Season B is going to be an excellent 13 race stint for us watching this racing, and then the viewers, of course, and for the drivers. I'm sure they're going to have a blast with it. Coming through 3 and 4 for the second to final time. Clear traffic for the 19 all the way around. White flag presented by nobody as we're coming to turn number 1 this time. Maybe another 10th or 2 from Chandler, but that's about it. Sun's back out. A little contact through Tony Solari and Joshua Johnson, just a few car spaces in front of the 19. Almost try to bring out a wreck, but it is the white flag, so it does not matter. Next flag ends the event halfway down the back straightaway. 2.1 separation between Richie and Jeff. It's not going to matter. 3 and 4. Cameras all zoomed in on the Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang. Richie Coy for the final time in 3 and 4. Martin Sports' winning moment is start to finish. First place, swept all 160 laps. Richie Coy brings home the checker flag.
Wow, what a drive for the Fury Motorsports driver out of Haskell, New Jersey. Richie Coy picking up right where he left off. Wasn't able to close the deal last week at Charlotte. Here he is here tonight. Number 19 Advanced Auto Parts Ford Mustang. Can't say I love that paint scheme enough since I'm a huge Ryan Blaney fan. Glad I got to see him win at Charlotte. But besides that, man, what a dominating performance here by Fury Motorsports driver. He was practically the only one that was up there out of all of his teammates. I mean, he did such a great job being able to defend RPM Motorsports off. They were so strong last week, and they came to play here again tonight. And I got to think to ourselves, and just when we talked to Jeff Chandler, what if Jeff Chandler didn't get spun out here tonight, Jeremy? What if he didn't get spun out? So interesting to see. Jeff Chandler, though, what a rebound coming home second. And TJ Bartel, his teammate, finishing third. But it's all about this guy here tonight, that number 19 machine. He's going to burn it down here.
He's going to do a small burnout and then classic Polish lap to salute the virtual fans who are coming out here tonight to watch this Gateway 200. But as he does that, we're going to kick it over to the unofficial results here for this event. Richie Coy, obviously P1. Jeff Chandler, second place. TJ Bartel in third. Those two guys also finished first and second last week, so 2 for 2 on the podium for them too. Mark Brannigan finishes in fourth. Lane Allen, fifth. Chad Lang, sixth. Michael Blackner, seventh. Robert Malikian, eighth. Colton Gum, ninth. And tonight's 10th place driver, James Wallace. Finishing 11th is Connor LaFrance. 12th, Ryan Hedrick. 13th, Sherwood Williford. 14th, Kyle Milliken. 15th, Austin Gassion. 16th, Joshua Johnson. 17th, Wayne Grassi. And the last guy on the lead lap in 18th place, Tony Solari. Everybody else on back, 1 lap down or more. That's James Torrey in 19th. 20th, Troy Torgerson. 21st, Alan Duranco. 22nd, Alan Crowell. 23rd, Ryan Chapman. 24th, Brandon Elder. 25th, Shad Curran. Brian Dublay in 26th. Stephen Hollingsworth finishes 27th. Brody Hanna, early expiration for him tonight in 28th. And Chris Beck, last guy on the grid, finishes in 29th. And this will bring us to our only full screen commercial as we're going to gather the top 3 and start off the Martin Sports post-race show. We'll be back with you guys momentarily. And welcome to the Martin Sports Post Race Show, where we're going to interview tonight's top 3 from the Gateway 200 for the Mach-1 Performance Full Throttle Sim Racing Series. And third place, TJ Bartel. We're going to bring him in right now. Driver of the number 30 machine. How's it going over there, TJ?
Good guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Back-to-back podium finishes. Second place last week, third place this week, along with your teammate Jeff Chandler. You guys are just setting the standard out here. I know Chandler had put in a ton of laps last week. What was your guys' preparation coming into Gateway?
Well, I know Jeff put a lot of, pardon me, laps in, and we got a good setup. It was good and solid. I made a couple changes for myself because I can't drive it quite as loose as Troy and Jeff can, so I tightened it up just a little bit for me, coming off the corners, and it worked out pretty good.
TJ, you guys did such a great job tonight. Again, RPM Motorsports showing up to compete with the Fury Motorsports guys. You guys right there just at the end. Richie was just able to pull away, man. What more could you guys have done? Possibly maybe an adjustment, possibly, or what more could you guys have done to catch Richie Coy tonight? Because he was lights out from the start of the green flag.
Well, I know Jeff had a little bit of damage from that early incident, and that kind of hurt him on the straightaways. For me, I probably should have taken another half pound of air out of the rear tires just to give me a little bit better bite. But it's such a balancing act here because you don't want to drive the car too hard early in the run because it kills you on the end of the run, but you don't want to give up track position. So, it's tough to keep what you got and not, overdrive the car.
Yeah, no kidding there. And this track does not reward you for trying to overdrive at all. But regardless, man, you did an excellent job bringing home in third place. Like I said, back-to-back podiums. Keep up that momentum for you and the team, really. The final thoughts before we let you go tonight.
Yeah, guys, momentum is big in this sport too, just like in real racing. So hopefully this momentum is going to keep going for us. We're putting in a lot of work, making the cars better. But I can't remiss without thanking Mach-1 Performance for sponsoring us. Nerditudes, you guys do a great job. FTSR, all the admins for all that they do. Abruzzi Raceway, RPM Motorsports, Troy and Jeff do such an awesome job. They're great teammates. We work really well together, and so far it's showing up pretty good on the track, and we're proud of our efforts. And I'd like to thank Doyle Lawrence at Raven Graphics for my paint.
I appreciate all the words there. And yeah, it definitely helps that team stay up front all the time. Man, congratulations once again. Back-to-back podiums. We'll see you at Sonoma next week.
10-4, guys. Thanks.
Yes, sir. And that was the number 30 driver, Mr. TJ Bartella, Abruzzi Racing, Chevrolet Camaro, and now the other Abruzzi guy. The faster of the two tonight, Mr. Jeff Chandler in the 31. Do you have a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man, back-to-back podiums, you and TJ both. Your car looked like it had probably the fastest speed midway on, and then 3 wide with Dublé and Sherwood Williford. Walk us through that incident and what could have been done any differently to avoid that.
Well, honestly, I haven't even seen it. I'm still not sure what happened. I didn't know we were 3 wide. I had no idea, so I'll have to look at the replay. But if I had any involvement, if it was my fault, I definitely apologize. I certainly didn't want to do that.
Dude, what a rebound for you and obviously the team, man. I can tell you what, pretty much from I'm not a math guy, but I mean, finishing first and second 2 weeks, pretty much an average finish of 1.5. That's got to be feeling pretty good for you heading into Sonoma next week. And obviously we know the Fury Motorsports guys, they always show up to the road courses. Tony Solari is an expert at those road courses. What do you guys got to do over at RPM to try to compete with those Fury Motorsports guys next week at Sonoma?
Honestly, we'd have to go back to the Gen 6 car because we had that car figured out for the road courses. I think in the FTSR last year, I won all 3 of the road course races. But that Gen 6 car was just like an old comfortable couch. I knew every track what I needed, the springs, you name it, and it was just great. Now I've struggled with this car, no doubt, but I think we're starting to kind of figure it out. But I highly doubt we have anything for those guys. They were just badass on road courses and obviously on ovals too. So it was a great race tonight. I enjoyed it. I just wish I didn't have to pass so many cars.
Yeah, you basically had to do it twice, right? Come from the back, get wrecked, come back to the back again from like I think you restarted in 20th that last time, and then just somehow drove through the field super clean, like for the most part, and just dominant performance, even with a slightly damaged car. But your car's badass too, man. No discredit to your team, and I think you're gonna put on an awesome show here next week at Sonoma. But floor is yours. Final thoughts for tonight.
Well, I'd like to obviously thank Brooke and Will and the guys at High Perforce Esports, Don Wheaton Chevrolet, everything that they do for us, Judd Danielson at Abruzzi and Racer Apparel. Like I've mentioned before, I've run Judd stuff for, gosh, I can't even remember a car without his name, his company's name on the side of it. Doyle Lawrence, Raven Graphics, excellent painter and designer, best in the business as far as I'm concerned. And Kenny and all the guys, Brian, James, Vincent, at Team Watson, appreciate their efforts this week. And, they sure, we worked together and definitely found, found some speed and we're very happy with the combo. Obviously Nerditudes and FTSR, man, great broadcast guys and definitely a great league. I love running here.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, appreciate all the kind words. Go ahead and celebrate the team for a back-to-back podium for 2 of the 3 drivers, and we'll catch you next week at Sonoma. See what you got.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it very much.
Yes, sir. Those driver the number 31 RPM Motorsports. That would be Mr. Chandler. And now it's time to load up the Mach-1 Performance victory lane as we have the guy who took the broom and swept from lap 1 to lap 160, Mr. Richie Coy. Congratulations, man.
What's up, nerds?
What is going on, dude, other than just mopping the floor with these guys? Every single lap led. You just, at one point, I thought the long run wasn't there for you. Stage break happened, and then did your car just naturally get better even on the long run? Because I thought that was going to be your weakness, but then you kind of excelled in that area.
Well, I only got like 25 minutes of practice today, and that was the only laps I got in the car.
Okay.
I actually had something to do. I didn't get into the server until like 8:35. So, fortunately, my guys gave me a really good setup to start with, and I'm pretty comfortable at the track. So that first run, it was just me just messing up, honestly. Just learning where the braking points were, where I needed to be on a long run, and then once that caution came out, I was able to reset the tires, and then use what I learned in that first stage to really actually take off.
Yeah, Richie, man, congratulations picking up practically right where you left off last season. You had that championship for Season A. Here you are in Season B. You already got a win compared to later on in the Season A when you won at Kansas, man. It's got to feel good to get that win early on in Season B. And obviously, we just got done talking to Jeff Chandler, talked to them about what they needed to do over at RPM to beat you guys at Fury. I know that Tony Solari is very good on the road courses. You guys have been very strong over at Fury on the road courses. Jeff said to beat you guys that you guys would have to go back to the Gen 6 because he said he knew everything about the Gen 6 car on the road courses. So how do you guys prep to try to continue that strong momentum on the road courses going into Sonoma next week?
Well, honestly, we added Michael Blackner to our team, to Fury Motorsports in the off season, and actually, this was his excuse me, his setup tonight. So, like I said, I didn't have any practice. Michael did a lot of work with this setup, did a lot of work, a lot of testing, made a fantastic setup. Now, Michael Blackner is not an oval guy. Michael Blackner is a road course guy. So now we have 2 road course guys on our team that'll probably, hopefully, carry me along.
More power to you.
So yeah,
it doesn't hurt.
Michael's a one of the only guys that actually has championships at FTSR in a road division and a oval division. So yeah, he's got a lot of experience. Like I said, he did the setup tonight, and he what an awesome job. I mean, it was just an awesome setup to drive.
Yeah, Jason had kind of compared this as to a multitude of tracks, including a road course, especially turn 3 and 4. It's very flat, and you can kind of take notes from that, and that's kind of cool that Blackner is able to help you guys out in a good way, able to put you in victory lane in dominant fashion tonight. So I could only expect something similar performance-wise across the board for Fury Motorsports. So yeah, good luck out there in Sonoma. But floor is yours. Final thoughts before we let you go this evening.
Well, like I said, I'd like to thank Michael for the setup tonight. He did a fantastic job, and Tony and Brody. for working with us. Brody was in the in the spotter stand tonight, giving us all great advice and trying to get us the best finishes that we could. So thanks to the team as always. Thanks to the guys again. I mean, what do we have? 2 cautions tonight? Holy cow! I mean, we had 13 last year and 2 tonight, so it was a fantastic race. Everybody did a fantastic job in the race. So congrats to everybody that went out there. Congrats to Jeff and TJ for great races. Thanks to Tony's mom and dad. Hopefully they're watching. And thanks to you guys, as always. I can't wait to watch it back.
Yeah, man, especially with the performance you did, I wouldn't blame you. And I knew that there was amount of cautions. I just forgot the numbers. So I didn't really talk about it. Yeah, 13-2, that's a huge difference in a positive manner there. So
It's awesome.
yeah, huge shout out to the whole league.
I watched the replay back this afternoon because I forgot what we did here last year. And yeah, 13 cautions. And do you know who won last year?
And drawing a blank, sir.
That number 19 did.
Okay. Yep. And I don't have the memory of Jason, so I
didn't even remember
to
that.
rely on. Oh, okay. All right, I don't feel bad anymore. 10-4 on that, man. We'll have to keep that notated for next year then when we return to Gateway in 2024.
Yeah, it's becoming one of my favorite tracks for sure.
Okay. Yeah, with that performance like that, for sure, definitely. But man, yeah, awesome job again. Congratulations. I know you guys are gonna do a hell of a job at Sonoma. Let's see what you guys got. We'll catch you there on Wednesday, really.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. You too. I guess we're going back-to-back victories for the 19 Richie Coy here at Gateway. And when they added an extra road course guy to the mix, Jason, what a difference.
I mean, and what a scenario too. I mean, I remember when we were under commercial, you guys were saying something about them adding somebody else. And now that I finally have that confirmation in my brain, I mean, Michael Blackner, he didn't just run fairly decent tonight. He was up in the top 3, top 5 all night long, comes home 7th tonight. And the fact now that they don't just have 1 or 2 road course guys, and to side note this, but tracking onto it, this car is meant to handle super well on road courses. It's meant to handle these abrasive conditions on the road courses, the bumps, the twists, the turns, uphill, downhill, you name it. You are doing so much with these cars now, especially with the sequential gearbox, 5 gears. I mean, this car handles pretty much like a GT road car pretty much when you're on the road courses. And the fact now that Fury Motorsports has not 1, but 2 road course guys and a guy who has an FTSR road course division title, I think that Michael Blackner is going to be the guy to beat tonight, and you can put that down. I think that, not tonight, but next week, I think Michael Blackner goes out next week and wins against his teammate Richie Coy and beats the competition by a long shot next week at Sonoma. But what a race tonight. 2 cautions. Richie Coy dominates from flag to flag. I really think, though, if Jeff Chandler wouldn't have gotten caught up in that incident with Sherwood Williford and Brian Dublé, I really think that Jeff Chandler would have went back-to-back here tonight, Jeremy. It's just a what could have been for Jeff Chandler tonight.
You got the ante set early there with Blackner over Richie Coy, so wish you the best of luck on that vote alone. It could happen, though. He's had how well Blackner does here on these road courses, so I am excited to see what he brings to the Fury Motorsports camp. But we're going to bring this thing to a close. I'm going to thank everybody that allows us to do this every single Monday and Wednesday night for Full Throttle Sim Racing here. Full Throttle Sim Racing, first and foremost. They've been doing this for almost 20 years at this point. iRacing since 2017, so just much appreciation to you guys. And if you guys want to be a part of this action, head over to FTSR.net. 3 active series going on between Xfinity Cup and Truck. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken there. So go check them out. Mach-1 Performance, the Monday night sponsor that has that fabrication shop that's hooked up champions of all sorts of racing divisions. So if you need your car repaired, once again, head over to facebook.com/Mach-1 Performance. Sim Racing Points, your league points management system that allows you to completely track everything that goes on in the league with just one simple upload of the race export. Check their product out at simracingpoints.com. Martin Sports, top quality apparel to make you look stylish and feel comfortable. See your whole apparel lineup at martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag, notifications fractions of a second faster without ever leaving the focus from the racing action. You'll find them at iRacingIFlag.com. Butt Kicker, the ultimate feel from your race car with a haptic response system from them, and you're going to find them at thebuttkicker.com for pricing and packages. And lastly, didn't shout them out too many times, which is a good thing, but Roasted Gems Coffee, premium coffee beans roasted just for you. Start your day the right way with Roasted Gems Coffee at roastedgems.com. Pulling up the schedule here now to your right-hand side, we go to Sonoma on the West Coast, and then we take a week off. And then we go to Nashville Superspeedway, Chicagoland, which I know that track's not currently active, but these guys do not want to do the Chicago Street Course, and then Atlanta, New Hampshire. So just a good mixture of tracks here in the next month or so. But we're going to catch you guys Wednesday from the road course with the trucks. Until then, you guys stay safe, and always get your nerd on.